was able to survive. The Will-O-Wisp does nothing in that situation because both BKBs come out at a perfect time. Now, the question is, will Playtime push the issue? Are they interested in trying to go high ground? I imagine, yes. There's a minute without two supports, 5 versus 3. Tino, I like what he's going for. He's the overwhelming blink. I was thinking, this guy needs a little bit more durability. He's reaching the stage where one heart is not enough. He needs a little bit more strength, and the overwhelming blink will help with that.
Tier 2 tower is going to be broken through, but it's an 8,000 net worth advantage for the side of Execration, which somehow still has that Aegis. Did not go down in that last fight. Tino going to be held back by that bushwhack, but now he does feel like he is tanky, but how tanky can he possibly be when he's tossed back into the entire lineup? Another great vacuum coming in by Jav, as it's going to be Akashi, who does get stuck, but activates that BKB and just goes to work. Takes out the first life of that Tiny, but still, Execration, they don't have Tino. He has a buyback.
Yeah, he does. Shank's going to come up. They use the glyph. Might consider using the buyback on Tino if they keep committing on Playtime, but they're probably going to wait at least until the Bane is up. They want to have all 5 at the same time. Oh, Akashi.
Bob goes in, and the Blitz has to be really careful. He does not have a buyback still. It's going to be a great Will-O-Wisp holding back everyone. The Invoker trying to teleport away will be possible. Schofield will die. El Misho incredibly low, and he will inevitably fall. 2 supports now being down for Playtime. That is very ironic considering when Execration went for the high ground, they lost both of their supports.
That's right. Like the game switches back and forth so much. I love the kill. He was using the workhorse, and that gives you like a stampede. So he just walks into El Misho, and he's like, I trampled that squirrel like it's nothing. They have buybacks on both the Playtime supports, though. And does Jeb have a refresher? I'm pretty sure I'm seeing double vacuums in these fights, or at least the cooldown seems very low. Even though Tino has to make a choice now. Do I want buyback or do I want overwhelming blink? You can only have one.
34,000 net worth, and it really feels like Playtime, they go in for the Lina, they find the catch, for sure. But as soon as that BKB and Satanic come out, Akashi, he just stands his ground.
Yep. And he's got another save as well with the cart. He's got the heal coming out from the Illuminate. There's a Nightmare save. Like, sure, Illuminate right now, the heal's not enough, and the Nightmare save is only a second. But that's sometimes all you need, basically. There's going to be a Rax coming out here from Execration. This is not the sort of situation I thought we'd be in 52 minutes.
Yeah, not with the way that Playtime were snowballing in that mid-game. I would like to take a look at the buybacks, though. How far away is that Tiny from his buyback? Because that's truly when Playtime can commit to a full-blown fight.
Well, for now, we're going to show you the Ember Spirit, all right? And the Bane, and you're going to be happy with it.
Glimmer Cape comes out. Bob, he does see Schofield, but doesn't really go in.
Boost of Travel level 2 now available on Akashi just to help him with, he's basically full slotted, so he needs to do some, he's like, I gotta get some item at this point. Bob wants to go for a Skadi on Ember, not an item we see very often.
Akashi has that Silver Edge, needs to be careful because Schofield, he could go in on him. The pings are coming out of Execration and know where Playtime are coming in from. And they will choose to huddle up on a Playtime's high ground.
Playtime can't stay up.
They could force Playtime to teleport back. If Akashi just goes towards that mid lane, starts breaking through the barracks to tier 4s maybe, Playtime will have no choice but to teleport away.
Yeah, the twin gating, actually. It looks to me like Playtime are a little unsure of exactly what's the right move. And in the end, they lose their mid-range racks. Not a big deal, to be fair with you. But it was also just revealing. If Execration has creeps pushing mid and no one's defending, they're like, well, Playtime's not home. They're looking for us. Oh, well, speaking of looking.
Schofield is going to get caught. A few right clicks will do the trick. Gives away quite a bit of gold, but also has his Observer and Sentry denied. So Playtime, I'm not sure what that move was going through the gate. Maybe they just wanted to disengage the safe way, the extremely safe way.
No, they're certainly a bit lost right now on Playtime on exactly what to do. 2 barracks down. Their carry-to-carry matchup's not looking too good. Oh, thanks.
Does get caught, but Bob, he is there. Shanks has dropped down the Will-O-Wisp. Elmisho is the one in trouble. Might just actually fall over here. Bob with the Lost Remnant can't actually find him. Elmisho will be able to get back, but Playtime, just from that one Ember, Automo taking quite a bit of damage. And now that Akashi has showed up, they need to be really careful. Jazz tried to go in with a vacuum, but the hoof jump stops him in his tracks. It's going to be Schofield who will buy back into this, but for Playtime, this really feels like a losing battle. Schofield's dead again.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Questionable buyback. Yeah, basically, and Jabs can come back if he wants to help out the team. In fact, all of them have buyback on Playtime, except Schofield, who just used his. And Execution, Roshan could be an option for them, but if you go for Roshan, you have to wait 2 minutes. So they have to make a very bold decision. Do we go high ground without Aegis, or do we wait for it and maximize this advantage? I feel like they smell blood in the water and they'll just go high ground.
Dire's bottom tower.
If it were up to us, Automo, it would be a bald decision.
Ah, yes, because we both don't have hair. Good one, Doctor. Akashi does reveal himself a little bit here. Could be jumped on from Wits, but it's from the east. We know how Execution is when they get jumped from the east.
Yeah, it is Southeast Asian specialty. Playtime. I mean, they only have one more barracks left. Ahmed broken through, so Wits has no choice but to go in, but Ahmed, he will fall. A buyback comes out immediately. Great vacuum, but once more, it doesn't do anything. Cataclysm, once more, doesn't do anything. Playtime going all in with the remaining buybacks that they do have, but Wits is falling very low on his HP. Has gone down, immediately buys back as well. Akashi on a triple kill, and Playtime, this is looking done and dusted for them.
Oh, yeah, that's what? 4 buybacks. They use every buyback that they have, basically. And their supports are still down. And they're just going to go straight for the base. It'll take a bit of a miracle here for Playtime to make a comeback.
Tino goes in to finish the job. Jabs.
Toss
Stun
plays.
down. Light Strike Array also comes out. A last few right clicks will do the trick. And in the end, the throne falling is going to be inevitable. Defying the odds is Execration as they take game number 1 in a spectacular fashion.
I mean, it came from the east again. Wits was hiding there, and Execration was just ready. They're like, we have a spider sense. We know exactly where he's going to jump from. So a credible performance by Execration. You gotta give so much credit to Tino. Takes, like the brunt of making space, of providing vision for the team, of taking all that damage. And Akashi, fantastic comeback as well at the end. Playtime, a little bit stunned here, maybe thinking, maybe we're a bit too relaxed in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the smiles have faded. Automo, as they had that game in the bag, I would say. Akashi was getting caught, but despite of that, was able to find the comeback, and you called it. It was that satanic, after which none of those team fights really looked as if Akashi was ever truly in danger of dying. Of course, we will head on over to a break before we come on to game number 2, and our analysts will
Центр
guide you
кредит
through.
банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCCKZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз. Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCCKZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
And we are back here after awesome game 1. Have you guys seen this Lina coming back? Oh my god. We're already here. Game is just started. It's 10 a.m. here in local time in Astana, and people are here and shouting. And what do you think, Kawaii?
I feel like it was an amazing game because it showcased what kind of a player Wits is. I really liked his Tini. I liked his adaptation with the Blink Dagger. He understood that he can't really go late in this type of draft, right? Not against Lina. And he was trying to force the tempo. He was trying it really hard. And for a period of time, it actually worked. They managed to get an early advantage. They managed to get to 16k of an advantage. But they never got a chance to close the game. Lina just got way too fat.
Yeah, the thing is, she was not doing anything absolutely for the first around 30-minute mark, and then, I mean, like, I want to give a credit to Wits, the way how he played, and the way how he played on position 5 player El Misho, the Hoodwink. He was at the one point he was 8 and 2, and the way how he played was incredible. Look at the jabs on Darkseer, that vacuum combos every time on point. At least minimum of 3 heroes are in vacuum, sealed, and
but they never connected, right? Like they never managed to connect everything really well so that you get like a vacuum into Avalanche. Okay, guys, before we continue, I would like to remind everyone that the Phygital football discipline is presented by Samur Kazana, and you can watch it from 4th to 9th of August.
Yeah, thank you very much for Samur Kazana for sponsoring our tournament, and we continue off our game. And yes, like, what do you think? What happened to playtime?
I'm not even sure about playtime specifically. Like, I don't think they've lost this game during the playtime, right? They've lost it during the drafting stage. They just didn't get into their own rhythm. They didn't get into their own tempo. But we can watch the highlights. Maybe we'll see something else here, and something sometimes we can figure out things as we go.
Yeah, look at our boys here. Execration, playtime.
I mean, who was the most impressive guy for you here? Because for me, personally, like...
The March, the king himself is over there, the March.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, El Misho definitely was a standout for the first half of the game. The game lasted for a really long time. But Tino going for this early heart, it was also a pretty smart move. He played a bit too timid at the start. I'm not sure whether somebody from his teammates told him to play more aggressively, or maybe that was just general idea behind his build. But once he started going in first, that's when the things changed.
Right.
For 30 minutes, it was Wits with his aggressive Blink Dagger build.
Right. It's just about the Tiny right now. The current meta is you're at I mean the Centaurs. So the Centaurs right now, you buy a heart as soon as possible. He made a dominant into the home, into the heart. But the thing is, once you do that, you're into farming mode. So you're farming a lot. So I've seen at one point Centaur had like around 300 creeps or so. The issue is, when he was farming that, they needed that initiator. But when he stepped in, was incredible. But I would like to mention how Playtime supports played this. I mean, the Tusker, right?
Tusk was amazing. But Scofield is always amazing. Like, you can always rely on Scofield to do something crazy, something fun. He was trying for the Wisdom Runes. That's what they're trying to say, right?
Yeah, twice. He was trying to capture it twice and always trying to make space. The Hoodwink is always on point. It's just not enough. Unfortunately, also they're also playing with 2 stand-ins, and that could also play out because they're not speaking in their own language. They're forced to speak in English, and therefore we see this result coming in. Could be possible, could be not. Also, I mean, excuse me, you guys are playing against a team that has been together for quite a bit, and their coach is Mark. So,
I mean,
the true legend.
You made a good point about the language barrier. That could be where the disconnect came from. Because we had Jobs doing some absolutely freaking amazing vacuums.
Right.
It was like 4 or 5 people. But Cataclysm getting just a little bit too late, maybe. Gleipnir not getting there in time. Or maybe Hoodwink should be the one concentrating and following up the vacuum. But it just never happened. And they didn't get to the point where they had an overwhelming advantage, enough of an advantage to go high ground. The patch has changed the meta. It still feels like it's a bit of the same thing.
Yeah, right. I mean, just a little bit miscommunication here and there, and a little bit some deaths were crucial for the jabs because he made this awesome place, but whenever he jumped in, he instantly died. And he had no BKB at that time, and then he died twice, and that's where the game got shifted immediately. I mean, look at Delina. She's currently at top net worth and actually doing everything. And unfortunately, Tiny is dying with the 11 kills, and it just disaster for Wits.
To be
all
fair,
of a sudden, he couldn't do anything.
Lina was top net worth for most of this match.
Right.
She was there
Farming.
like at the top, even when she died twice in the early game. He was always keeping up with the farm. And the interesting thing is, I feel like Lina is farming better nowadays because of the changes to the mana cost of Dragon Slave. That was the previous patch, not this one. But
right.
yeah, that's what allowed them. That's what allowed them to scale so well. And Tino being MVP, I kind of agree. He was kind of quiet for the first half of the game, but then snatching his Aegis, making sure that he can play frontline for this Lina, making sure that they get the initiations. Akashi was the guy who followed up. He was the guy who just dealt damage. It's a right click. Tina, he was on the edge all the time.
I would like to mention Tino for his damage output. I mean, you buy a heart, then you buy a shard, and the way how he managed this true damage, and it's actually insane. For me, stood out the players were the two offlaners from the both sides. I mean, it was great vacuums and the great games on great initiation, and Tino managing to snatch the Aegis on the mid of the team fight is just phenomenal.
Theoretically, if Playtime wins, who would be your MVP? Because for me, it's Wits, 100%. Him going for this aggressive build, I really like it. Because Tiny's nowadays, they play super slow, right? Like they go Echo Sabers, and they go for Lotar's, the Shadow Blade, and that takes a while. So going Blink against Lina and constantly hunting this Lina, that's what allows them to get this advantage. They just never manage to convert it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, personally, I would say the supports for sure, and I mean, Jab's incredible vacuums. Every time the vacuums were on point, he just a little bit on miss timing over there. If there was like a avalanche toss, any damage output into those vacuums, we would have seen a totally different game. And yeah.
What are you thinking of game 2? Because we've seen some interesting bans. Before we go to that, though, I would like to remind you that the Phygital basketball discipline is presented by Halik, and you can watch it from 29th of July to 3rd of August. Only a couple of days left of Phygital basketball, but people play both physical and digital basketball, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, Kawhi, for mentioning it. That we're just only 2 more days that are left for basketball, and then we also have tons of different disciplines. Meanwhile, there's going to be a Bang Bang after Bang Bang Mobile Legends after the Dota 2. So there'll be more games.
So
sure.
we were starting to talk about how they should adapt to the next game. Do they go for a bit of a later game strategy? Do they still play Wiz as a super high tempo carry who's going in?
I think
or
they're
do you just have to adjust?
I think they're going to change. It's Wiz is a great carry, excuse me,
Of course.
and he is going to be playing a hard carry, I would say. I would lean more to see Luna personally. The Tiny is a great hero, don't get me wrong. The Tiny itself is a great stable hero, but it's not the greatest hero, if you know what I mean. So like Luna per se, she's a little bit higher, more damage, and she's more reliable than Tiny because that once you get hit by a Scatty, you can't get out. So therefore, just right like that. And before we start that, we'd like to mention and remind you guys that Mobile Legends is presented by Freedom, and we'd like to appreciate our partner Freedom. Thank you very much for hosting and sponsoring this event. And yeah, just to continue, what do you think about the playtime coach? We've spoke about March many times, but I've seen there's a Dota analyst, Luam, and just what do you think about him? And just any ideas you think maybe he will change the strategy for the game 2?
I'm not even sure. I mean, that's what I was saying. Okay, you are playing a super high tempo draft at the moment, right? Like you were playing Tiny 1, and it was looking great for a while. Maybe you should be hedging a little bit in terms of what you're drafting for. Maybe if you have like Tiny 1, your mid should be not necessarily Invoker, but something right-clicky, something that can capitalize in the later portions of the game. Something like I don't know, maybe a Lina for themselves. That could be interesting.
I mean, that works.
Or just do it a bit more simple, because you know, I like Darkseer. Darkseer always looks good in Tier 1 tournaments. It's a type of hero that enables a lot of combinations, really strong combinations, but it's a hard hero to execute when you are not fully in sync as a team.
Right.
So this Darkseer, he did amazing job. And if Japs was playing with his teammates that he's been playing for like 5 years, let's say, right?
Like with Q and 23 Savage, you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
Players,
They,
yeah, of course,
they would be
definitely.
there. They would feel Jabs. They would understand that he's going for it, and they will capitalize on it. But
Right.
here, just go for something simple. Go for single target pickoffs, or like Tide Hunter, Mars type heroes that just
Right.
creates a team fight. Because right now, this team, they are on the brink of elimination. Don't forget that it's a single elimination bracket. So they have to go all in, and they have to make it in a comfortable way.
Right, and right about that, it's the thing is, I've coached at C, right?
Yeah.
And I know what Japs plays. And at Nemesis, he's been playing all the time the starters, the Night Stalkers.
I mean, Slardar is good.
Those heroes, yeah.
Slardar
but
fits.
the thing is, why they don't give him that hero? Why they don't give them Magnus? Why they don't give the Slardar? Because Japs love those heroes, and he outperforms on those heroes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he played awful on Darcy.
No, he played phenomenally.
It's just those heroes would work for him. And yes, besides that, the players have taken and downloaded our app called Yandex Go, and we'd like to appreciate, and you can experience the city with the Yandex taxi, and yeah, download it. It's easy to use.
Yeah,
Very
and for
helpful.
people who just visited Astana for the first time, it's an easy app to use, right? Like you can
app.
put in everything, you can
see
always order
everything.
food
It's
and
also
stuff
in
like that.
English available, so you don't need to worry if there is language barrier here and there, but everything is good. And yeah, you have anything to share? What do you think about the game itself?
I'm actually kind of, on one hand, I'm really excited because we got a comeback, but at the same time, I'm a little bit disappointed. I've always been a Playtime fan because I like SA teams, right? Like I'm a big fan of LGD, and they're going to be here on stage and everything. So for Playtime, I would like to see a full 3-game series.
Right.
I want Playtime to win the next one. I want them to play something more comfortable. And you were talking about Japs just going for those Slardars, going for those Night Stalkers.
Right.
I would love to see Night Stalker.
Yeah.
I would like to see something that is very easy to execute and something that can convert an early momentum into actual wins.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys get to see Luna and a Night Stalker or a Night Starter right now in the second game, I would have not be surprised because I'm pretty sure they would have make it 1-1 easily. It's just a matter of the communication, because I know Japs is Thai player, and for him speaking English is maybe a little bit uncomfy too. We never know. So, but he has played.
I mean, he always speaks the language of Dota. I mean, they just make calls.
For sure.
Like, go, 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 davai, davai, something like that.
Right. But the thing is, when you speak in one language, everybody speaks in one language. It's just easier and smoother to explain everything in quick. In those like tricky and heavy moments, you can't say it in one word in your language, but you have to retranslate it, and it takes time, and you just say whatever, and you just move on, and yeah, like we'll get to see.
I'm looking at the creation right now. They don't look particularly happy, right?
They don't look happy. Look at Shanks. He's locked in. Look at his eyes. He's locked in, and yeah, here's Luan, Luan helping his team at the moment, explaining something to the team.
Maybe that's what they're discussing. Like, guys, let's just keep it simple. Give Scofield his signature hero. Give Scofield his task, his clock type of hero.
Right.
Make him do everything. But yeah, we're gonna go live to our commentators.
Welcome back, everyone, to that game number 2 between Execration and Playtime. This is, of course, Cultrus joined by Atomo, and we saw a very spectacular game, 50+ minutes in that game number 2, as Execration, they were down quite far. I mean, they had what was that? A 6,000 to 8,000 net worth disadvantage, but they managed to bring it back.
Yep, it was a pretty damn good opening. Sorry, good performance there. A lot of it comes down to Tino is able to tank for the team, provide tons of vision, and Akashi as well, late game doing so much damage. We kind of went in, I think both of us favoring the playtime draft. We're kind of opposing the analysts a little bit here because we liked what they had in terms of durability, for example. But then the damage from the Tiny doesn't scale as well as the Lina, right? And later on, the saves from the Tusk kind of take his life. You can see Shanks doing a lot more just with a Will-O-Wisp. It became easier and easier to play around this one guy in the front, one guy doing damage. And hey, there's the crowd. Hello, hello. A wave to them, Tortoise. Wave.
I can't wave. I wish I could. Because what I know of Kazakhstan, the esport following is great. You know, Steel Borgo mentioned how there's been Counter-Strike events. This is the first Dota event that they've had. And that makes me feel pretty excited because Dota 2 is very big. And there you have so much, you have a lot of Kazakhstan Dota 2 players as well. And I happen to think that, Rune Eaters being the Kazakhstan organization, they have done fantastic going towards EWC. I can't wait to see more of them. Of course, they are also going to be playing at Games of the Future. That is going to be, I believe, tomorrow, since they're not in the Decider playoffs. They've already made it further ahead.
Of course, they're sitting comfortably. Them and 3 other teams, if I'm not mistaken, is Vici, Extreme, and Glyph. So already we have decent representation from with both Southeast Asia as well as China, making it far. But for now, Playtime versus Execration. And you can see the Execration players, they still look very, very serious. You feel like they lost game 1 with the expression that they're like, oh, we gotta do this all over again. It was a great, can we call it comeback? I feel like it was a bit of a comeback, honestly.
It was, at least in my eyes. And another thing that we do have to point out is that, while there were a lot of smiles on Playtime, I think they have had a reality check where they're going to need to play a lot more careful. Perhaps there was an element of underestimating Execration coming into this, but let's see what they're going to be able to do with perhaps a readjustment in their expectations and how they need to approach this.
Abed as well, I feel like this was kind of the difference I expected from him and Bob, whereas Bob really threw his body forward with the Ember Spirit. Abed kept his distance with the Invoker, but late game he buys the Aghanim Scepter, and usually that feels great, but it doesn't synergize too well with the Vacuum. You think, oh, group them together, right? That's great, but group them together, nothing keeps them there unless you can land the Bushwhack, which wasn't happening because of BKBs. They use the Stampede, they run out, they're fine. I can't feel like it's worked out too well for them, that Aghanim purchase.
If there was a single hero that you need to give a respect ban out for, who should that be? Is it the Lina or is it the Centaur?
Centaur. The Centaur certainly more. He enables the Lina. I think that you take away the Centaur, the Lina can't do anything. You take away the Lina, you pick Drow, you pick Gyro, you pick whatever, and some other carry can probably do a similar job at least.
And I would like to give a huge shout out to CML. We saw the Wind Waker. We saw, even apart from the Wind Waker, Schofield built a Use Scepter as well. It seemed like they were itemizing to completely shut down that Fiend's Grip, but it never really felt like the Fiend's Grip was shut down because he took his sweet time with it, but he was able to find it time and time again.
Look at that. We have people on stage as well. Very cool. Schofield's still smiling. He's like, it's okay, my friends. We give them game 1 and then we win games 2 and 3.
But it is also a game of momentum rather. And Southeast Asia is known for their momentum. Once you start off strong, it's very easy for Southeast Asian teams to start snowballing. They just look stronger and stronger. South America, though, they may be known for, I would say, their comeback potential. And just the way that they're able to maintain their composure, it never really feels like South America can be put in a situation where they're made to feel behind, where they're made to feel pressure.
I don't know. I know how much I believe that. I've seen a lot of times where a Southeast Asian team wins game 1, then they take it easy and lose game 2 or 3. They feel like they're not as focused afterwards. But Execration, a win here would keep tournament hopes alive. 10,000 extra USD in the pocket. Coach Mars certainly having an impact on the squad so far.
Not to mention, a win here would get you in a matchup against Team Glyph. Probably a matchup compared to every other team that Execration are most familiar with.
I was gonna say, like, is he gonna say that Glyph is the easiest to beat compared to Extreme, Ruvici, and Ruin Eaters? I don't know, but yeah, certainly that would be, you know, Southeast Asia versus Southeast Asia, a team you definitely have some knowledge of.
To be fair, Otimo, Glyph compared to Extreme Gaming, Vici Gaming, compared to those two, I would, you know, put Glyph lost, but maybe against Rune Eaters, Glyph would be pretty much even. Of course, I love Arthur. I love the passion that he has for the game, and in fact, his players. My team itself went against Sanctity, and we did not have a good time. I can tell you that in the ENC qualifiers. But I really want to see one Southeast Asian team make it through, right? Reconics, Execration, two Southeast Asian teams over here in this tournament, but even on that big stage, it really feels that the community is yearning for South America, for Southeast Asia, and it's been several years since we've been yearning.
Oh yes, the yearning is reaching maximum levels of need there. But yeah, if Execration wins, we'll definitely, you know, we'll definitely have like a Southeast Asian team in the top 4, guaranteed.
That will be pretty exciting. Not to mention, we have a third place match as well, not something that not many tournaments do. So, you know, just additional Dota. So even though it is a single elimination bracket, we still have more matches compared to a traditional single elimination format. But Playtime and Execration, you mentioned how Wits brought about his, you know, his Tiny, his classical Tiny. Are we going to see a shift in the draft or in the way that Playtime are drafting, or is it going to be more the same and a shift in how they actually approach the game? Instead of taking it slow as they did in that early to mid game, even with the lead, maybe they look to close that game out before a comeback is even on the horizon for Execration.
Waiting for the draft to begin here. Schofield being told, like, all right, you're gonna have to save them. You know, you're gonna have to put 2 people in their snowball every time you save. And we'll see how that's gonna work. Jabs actually performed really well in the Dark Sphere. So many good vacuums, but unfortunately, there's no real big follow-up, as we mentioned. Like later on, the Tiny, he does decent damage for sure, but the Avalanche doesn't work when they all have BKB.
A lot of notes there. How many pages do you think there are in the set of notes? And it's very interesting. Some teams, you know, they bring the notes. Some teams don't. Who was the player that we saw looking through the patch note? It was Jickroy, actually.
Jickroy, did he have a lot of?
He didn't have the notes, but if you remember, you know, when we were casting the match between Reconics and Liga team, he was switching over to the patch notes to see which hero was stronger in the draft.
And then spinning the heroes after he picks them. I always love that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to make it move around. Execration, they start off with an incredibly strong pick. I think Earth Spirit mid seems to be like the best in this patch, and Execration gets their hands on it. And it's not like Playtime can get another game breaker, which is the Lone Druid, but brother versus brother, fratricide in the mid lane, Fire versus and Tortoise. Which one do you like more?
The Earth Spirit does certainly seem to be a lot older. It feels like if you were to make a sibling tree between all the spirits, the Earth Spirit will be the eldest, and the Ember Spirit would be kind of the middle child.
I thought Void Spirit would be older than the Earth Spirit. But
Void Spirit is the adopted one.
Why? What's wrong with him? He's fine.
Because he's the newest. He's you know, there was a storm, there was the Ember, there was the Earth. Those are all the natural elements, and then you brought in the Void.
That's true. Void is not like, you know, the other elements, we know what they are, right? It's like lightning, fire, and earth. Then they're like, there's void energy. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, where do I find it? In a microwave? What is this energy?
And there's no water spirit. You know, there's some ideas if Valve is listening. But Mirana, for Playtime, no Bane has come out. In fact, the Bane is actually banned. Mirana has been classically in combination with the Bane, especially nowadays. You know, there was 10 years ago, we had the Bane Miranas come out. It fell apart, and it really felt like the meta wasn't in a place where you would have that space for that kind of a combo, but now it's been brought back.
Look at that. You talk about the Mirana, but usually we're seeing it as a position 5 and not really getting a whole lot of setup. On the other side, for Execration, they go for the Snapfire and the Darkseer, so possibly flexing the Earth Spirit. I don't think that's very likely. strongly suspect that this is going to be a Snapfire support. It has to be a support because you put Earth Spirit mid, Darkseer off lane, you don't play Snapfire as a carry.
I would much rather have the Earth Spirit be a core than the Earth Spirit be a support. As I think the Earth Spirit is a lot weaker on the support position compared to the Snapfire being on the support position. The support Snapfire has a lot to offer. And each and every single one of his spells does, or rather fulfills a purpose. The Earth Spirit, if you fall behind on the support position, you're really kind of useless on the map. But it's also worth considering that Bob is really good on those spirit heroes. We saw it in the last game, and we've seen it time and time again. Bob's been around the block for a while now. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he is on the Earth Spirit.
No, that's what I feel like. Especially because the Snapfire feels a lot more countered now with the Nyx Assassin coming out. I've seen Schofield's Nyx many times in the past. Always walk away very, very impressed by it. So, gotta be a little bit scary here for playtime. Will they consider something like a Dawnbreaker, some sort of global lineup to work with the Nyx? Because early on you can assassinate by yourself. Later on you need some help. He's also not too bad against the Darkseer, right? You walk into his Ion Shell with the spiked Karapachi, and you're able to bring him down.
Yeah, I think it also works against the Earth Spirit's rolling boulder. You try to roll in, Vendetta comes out, and you have that stun. And even if it doesn't stun him right there and then, you can't use the Magnetize because then you're going to get insta-stun. So I really do like this Nyx Assassin pick. It's a great counter. The only problem is, doesn't exactly synergize with that Mirana. Unless the Mirana is going to be super close, that Vendetta stun is not that long of a disable.
I like how you called Vendetta as both a stun both times, right? And it's like, I think it means like impale. Excuse you, sir. It's called impale. I'm recently picking up another game, which is another MOBA similar to Dota, and I recognize I'm like, holy shit, I cannot remember every spell name again. There's like 400 spell names. And I'm like, it's the 1, it's the 2, it's the 3, it's the ultimate, whatever it is. That's what I'm calling it.
Oh, the Doom comes out by playtime. Pretty good against, well, in general, it's a pretty good hero in Dota. Yeah, it's pretty much good against everything. But the one consideration that you do have to take into account is that the Earth Spirit, when you do get to that Aghanim Scepter, you're able to save your allies very easily against that Doom.
Mama, they picked it. The Broodmother for Akashi. All right, so Execration already showcasing really all of their cores, because there's no way that they still need another core, like Snap 5, Earth Spirit 4, and they pick like a mid laner right now. That would be crazy for Execration. On the other side, for playtime, carry is the most likely option. However, carry Doom is very, very common. I like it, and look at the Execution. They have everyone standing behind March while he does all the work. He's like, behind me, boys! Like advisors to the king. He goes, what do you think about this here? And they're like, no, bad. You give me another suggestion.
One thing about Execration with this Broodmother is the fact that you have that Fire Snap cookie. The Broodlings, if they're invisible, you won't see that cookie coming. So it's kind of like having the Lycan on your side with the Spirit Wolf. Running around Invis, Fire Snap cookie comes out, you're gonna get stunned, and there's no way to counter that out. So that's a small niche thing that Execration will probably use. But as far as counters to the Broodmother goes, what do you exactly pick up to counter a Brood?
I liked what they picked with the Disruptor. Actually, the Disruptor would have been very solid. Although, sorry, not the Disruptor. Sorry, the Disruptor gets banned against them. Yeah, to counter a Brood, you usually want something like a Spirit Breaker or a Disruptor. Nyx Assassin's okay because you do have that Vendetta free walk later on. I think with the Shard, you need something like that. Also, the Ember Spirit. It's not too bad actually what they have against the Broodmother. Also, once the Ember starts fisting the Spiderlings, he's able to sort of stay there for like a second or two to be invulnerable, which is nice. As Execration, they take Winter Wyvern for their last pick. Meh, honestly, as a pick overall.
Into the Doom, right? That's very surprising. The heal is not going to be that effective. Again, I feel like whenever Winter Wyvern comes out, there's always the possibility of your Cold Embrace being a setup for the other side. In this case, you have the Mirana on the other team, so you have to be really careful about that Cold Embrace. I'm not really too sure about why they picked this, because it's not as if Playtime come in with heavy right-clickers, right? So your Winter's Curse is not really as strong of an ability as it would have been had Playtime had a very strong carry that was on the cards. But maybe they're going to pick one up. Maybe this is an expectational pick with Execration, you know, considering Playtime going for a right-click carry like a TB.
Or it could be also Spectre coming out for Playtime as well. That was, I think, banned in the previous game, or at least I've seen it picked and banned a little bit here in Games of the Future. So it's a good way of finding the Broodmother that you mentioned. But no, they go for the Timbersaw. And I agree with you so much on the Winter Wyvern. I don't feel like it's going to do too much, really. Like, it's all magic damage. It's always sort of spell damage on the enemy side. No one really right-clicks. Your Cold Embrace is bad. Winter Wyvern, it was... I've seen it as a gotcha pick sometimes when you're up against like a Troll Warlord and a Shadow Fiend mid. You're like, oh, wow, this is great. But not here. Not here.
Timbersaw is a really good pick against the Brood, though, right? That Chakra Blade,
Yes.
or rather, you know, that Chakram,
Chakram.
that Whirling Death, all of your spells are pretty good against Akashi. It's the fact that Playtime are playing this carry Doom. Now, I know that you mentioned that a lot of teams do this. It is effective. It works. But it kind of feels like Playtime want to play for that 30-minute timing.
Execration, though, they can push pretty damn fast. And it's going to be a mid-snap, by the way, in a position for Earth Spirit. I would prefer the other way around. Overall, Execration's core picks, I like. Support picks, not so much, though. Earth Spirit 4 can be very risky and not pay off. And same thing with the Winter Wyvern against this lineup. So I'm not really feeling it. On the other side, Execration won game 1. They have a solid draft, but... No, Playtime. We're gonna be 1-1 after this game.
I would happen to agree with you, but it's that mystery of the Broodmother. But it's also scary because you're playing a Broodmother against a South American team. Now, sure, it's not Yuma on the other side, but it's still a South American roster. And what are you thinking going for a hero that, you know, was displayed at the very biggest stage in Dota 2 at TI with a lot of success, right? Team Heroic at the time, they wiped the floor with teams with their Broodmother.
I don't know. I think the Broodmother can do well, honestly. I mean, Akashi, I've seen him spam it before. Not spam it, sorry, pick it before in a couple of tournaments, doing really well. Wits is also very talented with the Brood, though. So it's nice to have that sort of Brood expert. He's like, guys, he's probably going to be here. Careful, he's going to buy this item. Gets yourself, you know, like probably an Orchid to Bloodthorns. It's like, gets yourself some Mules, some Guardian Greaves to protect you. Overall, I like what they have to on Playtime way more. So I think 1-1.
I mean, we'll have to see. I will reserve my judgment. I'll tell you who's going to win at the 30-minute mark. Or
Oh,
who
yeah,
I
really?
think is
Okay,
gonna win
well
at
done.
the 30-minute mark.
Okay, good
I need
job.
the information.
Told us-
I need the information. I need to know all the aspects of what's going on. I can't, you know, make a guess, Automo.
Okay. Well, we'll see now as they go into game 2 here for Execration versus Playtime. Tournament lives on the line. Playtime. A decent performance in game 1. Looked like they were going to take it at several points, but end up just, you know, going to that wall of the Tino Centaur
30
and losing it
seconds
after
to
that.
battle.
And now they'll have to play against the very hero that provided them with the setups, right? There's Darkseer against 3 melee heroes. In fact, it's 4 melee heroes
It
from
is.
Playtime.
Although, you know, you could make a bit of a discussion about how melee Timbersaw, Ember, oh, okay, not Ember, but at least, sorry, not Timbersaw, Ember and Nyx, like they're kind of on the edges of fight. They don't really go in and tank too much. They don't feel very melee.
Unless he goes in with the Vendetta. 'Cause then he'd be pretty melee. Like,
Yeah, sure.
pretty much right in there.
Does have the break, by the way, I believe, on the Nyx Assassin. So pretty damn good at bringing down the Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I like Saberlight. He's a very cool guy, big personality. He's actually the teammate of Abed in the previous tournament.
Yeah, both of
Well,
them from VP, I believe.
Dire's courier has
VP
been killed.
indeed. Alright, top lane. So what are we looking at here? Oh, arrow actually lands, but there's not much follow-up here. So it's going to be this Mirana and Timbersaw going against Winter Wyvern and Broodmother. I don't feel like anyone really wins that lane too much.
I would say that I think playtime are a bit stronger past that level 3 mark. Once you have some more levels coming up, the Brood Mother can't really do much. And normally, once you have that Spawn Spiraling ability, the ultimate, Brood Mothers are supposed to overtake the lane. But that's not really possible against a Timbersaw. You know, so there's that power spike. Oh, Bob. Bob, he does seem like he's in trouble. Fire Snap Cookie on towards Abed. The tower hits are going to be coming down. It's going to come down, be real close. The Searing Chains, they miss. Bob will not get hit by them, and Abed now has to drag away all of those creeps, but Bob is coming in with the chase as well. Somehow he realizes that Abed does not have his Sleight of Fist, so Bob can just play close to the fire and won't get burned.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get burned.
He gets impaled. Artemo, we have to be correct, and in fact, Bob will fall to the next assassin. If only he could have lived for a second longer, because CML, he got a kill on Anisho that could have been first blood to execration, but Bob kind of got too ahead of himself there.
Yeah, for sure. Execution's like, Bob, can you control your feeding for just 2 seconds, man? We would have gotten us, or we would have gotten first blood for ourselves. But we mentioned this has been a rotation for playtime. Elmisha going top as well as moving Schofield to the bottom. I like this because I think post 5 you usually get a little bit more experience than post 4. So having the Nyx Assassin bottom, always pulling, making sure he's getting some solo EXP from the creeps, getting that Vendetta online, big deal. And nice cosmetic, I must say. I kind of like it. Looks a bit like a car.
For execration, you kind of have to expect those rotations, right? That's what gave Playtime the edge in the previous game, and it's not as if Playtime are playing with 2 supports who don't rotate. Both Schofield on the Nyx Assassin, as well as the Mirana, they want to roam around the map and find pickoffs.
Yes. Mirana, especially with the twin gate, like one of the best along with the Pudge, could show up from unexpected angles with an arrow, with a hook, and bring that and get yourself a kill. Mid lane though, Bob continues to do decently against Abed overall. In terms of CS, quite even across the board with a bit of an advantage for playtime. Very small though. Oh, sorry, for execution, my bad.
Over on the mid lane, bot side, Schofield does go down. Execration coming in quick. Wits very low on his HP, cannot chase after Shanks or even Tino. But it does appear that Execration are at the very least doing pretty well on both of their side lanes, even if their mid lane is off to, I would say, a shaky start.
Interestingly, Wits has no points in Inferno Blade. Going for that 1 point Devour, when you take a point Inferno Blade, especially when you're up against 2 melee, you get a decent amount of value. I believe level 1 of that spell has been buffed to do more damage. I think it does less at max, but more at level 1. So I don't know. A little bit unfortunate there. Mother says no.
Abed, he is pretty low, but so is Shanks. Scatter Blast will land, but Bob did not find enough damage, and now is going to be able to dodge away Schofield's impale. The only problem is, you do have CML in this position coming in to give the Lotus to Bob, so he is going to be pretty much okay. CML with the right clicks, unable to take down that Nyx Assassin, just dishing out damage towards anyone who comes in close. That is the danger of walking too close to a dragon. Artemo, he just starts right-clicking you.
I see. By the way, sorry, Scatter Blast coming out from Snapfire, I did actually miss because he was fisting at the time on Abed. I was like, yeah, I think you're not gonna shoot me. But Akashi's having a good time. The big difference is going to be that Akashi can be very active with the Broodmother. Elmisho
falling very low. That blood grenade missed, otherwise Elmisho would have actually died there. And Tino, he does surge away. You leave Tino alone, he's gonna struggle against the Doom, even if the Doom doesn't have that Infernal Blade. Oh, I can't believe this trade is still going on. Elmisho, just back away.
Well, Akashi losing quite a bit of health there. That means he's not gonna be able to move too fast. Wow, he's going back in. Knows that there's the cool. Knows that there's a cooldown coming up. Cooldown from jabs is there, but still very risky. Even when I see Bob walking around with like 200 health, going for a kill, I'm like, my God, you guys play very risky. I can't do that.
But that is a breath of fresh air, seeing teams play with risk, especially in dynamics where you're not really coming out ahead, like the Broodmother versus the Timbersaw. Look at that damage coming out from Jabs, but he is isolated and outnumbered. Akashi can't get too close to that Timbersaw though, otherwise he'll just get cut down, and will happen. Jabs, one right click, one whirling death, and Akashi, he had two heroes around him. That means that Bob is alone. On that mid lane, Abed will run him down with his immolation. Execration making big mistakes on both that top lane as well as the mid side.
Middle tower is under
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing like Akashi is very low health, and we were saying like it's nerve-wracking, right? Walking around with like a couple hundred health points against a against a Timbersaw, but they're gonna go try to make sure Jabs pays the price for his insolence. I don't think he'll actually die though.
Oh, arrow lands and the whirling death, it just deals too much damage right now. And now Execration, they have to deal with Abed coming in with a shield room. They have no recourse in this position, just have to get back, accept their losses, which will be massive. It is a double kill for Abed, and a dominating streak has now been built up. Akashi trying to run for his life, but Schofield is here, trying to land that impale, won't be able to, a bit too close, or rather a bit too far away.
Radiant's
And even though Akashi lives, Automo, make no mistake about it, this is playtime coming out very far ahead.
Oh, for sure. They bring down two supports. They killed Akashi earlier as well as a solo kill, and that's a Doom being used. But can they get wits? I think they
Should be
will.
able to. You know, they find ways, but again, it's with that is a very favorable exchange. You get the Doom up instantly, you use it, you find a kill, and even though you die, you force out two teleportations on that bot lane. You're shutting down Execration's safe lane, and there's Broodmother pick. You know, it's too early to say if it's working or not, but definitely not the start that you would expect for it to be working out for.
Yeah, that's a very fair point to go with. Now, Execration, definitely those support rotations have ended up hurting them quite a bit overall. And we also saw the Winter Wyvern, right? Showing up next to the Timbersaw, use the Cold Embrace. He's like, okay, I'll just chakram him. Well, what is he gonna do?
Bob is there. Will... Oh, yeah, I mean, they brought the two supports in, but the Arcane Rune spawns towards that top side. Abed, though, he'll activate it immediately because he knows his target is going to be Akashi, who won't see this one coming, and they will just melt the Broodmother.
Double bounty as well! But if they can get wits, I think they'll be fairly happy with it, and they do. So far, that trade of the Broodmother for the Doom, you're definitely happier on Execration's side. Because the Doom is the one who needs to sort of like get that good start. And you know his items are going to come later. Broodmother, if she gets her Orchid delayed by a couple of minutes, it's not great, but it's a little bit more acceptable, if that makes any sense.
is under attack.
It does. I mean, as far as the kills are concerned, I think Execration are going to be okay with that. But the problem is those two bounty runes you mentioned, 52 gold each, means about 500 more gold went the way of playtime just now.
Now, it's certainly looking like things are working very well for your playtime at the moment.
They get two more bounty runes, Automo. Schofield just picked two of his own. So that's 1,000 gold instantly in playtime's pockets.
So good. Ember Spirit is going to go for the Spirit Vessel as well. Already has the urn. Now, if you are Execration, the plan right now is probably try to work with Shanks. I haven't actually seen this snap. Oh, there you go. He can actually throw his kisses now if he wants to. Will he choose
Looking
to?
for it. Okay, he's gonna decide not to. Even though there was no carapace, like you pointed out, Schofield will be very happy to just walk away from that. Meanwhile, Jabs trying to find that juicy ancient stag. That is what Execration got last game, but it will be Mr. Jabs who will have that. And this Timbersaw is the most farmed hero in the entire game. In fact, quite... Oh, I'll have to hold that thought. It's going to be the Ember Spirit. He's now there. Abed over on the mid lane, finds a two-man series chain, dodges away that fire snap cookie in spectacular fashion, and now Execration. They've used mostly everything. They just have to get back and hope that Schofield isn't right there, but he is. They drop down that vacuum wall, or rather just the wall, in order to prevent that.
That's a nice range ruin there on El Misho. They actually had a ward available for playtime, so they saw Execration's move before it happens. I don't feel like they reacted too scared towards it. Schofield coming in from the back. Bob has not used a single Mortimer's Kisses because he knows the moment he uses it, if Spike Carapace is available, it's just going to be instantly cancelled. Does not want that to happen.
3,000 of a lead right now for Playtime, and this is a much earlier lead than what Playtime built up last game. You know, they're talking about their win condition, which is to achieve a mid-game victory, and they're finding the advantage in order to make that a reality.
Oh, for sure. They're certainly in a much better spot right now for Playtime. And this Doom is working towards his Radiance, which likes to his farm. Akashi, on the other hand, not having sort of the same luck with his item build. Has Power Tries working towards the Orchid, but he doesn't have a single component of it just yet.
Magic Wand. Ember Spirit, what is he going to go for? Is he going for a Spirit Vessel?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we pointed that out earlier. Like, Spirit Vessel, very, very good this game against the Brood Mother and all of her lifesteal. The Cold Embrace, the Cookie Heal later on. It's just a solid item for Mr. Ember.
They are hunting for jabs, or were hunting for jabs. Oh no, they're still on the hunt for jabs. But the Moonlight Shadow will prevent that. Jabs is now safely disguised.
Are they going to go for Tino? Looks like they're kind of near him. Schofield spots him out, but they're not actually going to go for the kill just yet.
Might actually go for him. Remember, Carapace against that Ion Shell is not even necessary. They'll just go in, plant down that Doom, and Witz can walk away from this position knowing that Tino's fate is sealed.
Another kill for Playtime. Everything going well for them at the moment. Tino was having the best time on the team, but he's been brought down just now.
Is the Wombo combo going to be enough to bring Execration back into this? You know, they get the good vacuum wall, you have the Mortimers, you have the Magnetize, you have the Winter's Curse. Could that be enough?
Yes, I would say it could, if you can get these spells all to land, which is always the hard point, right? You're up against 4 melee, so getting a good vacuum on like 3 of them is not that impossible compared to a lot of other games. As Winter Wyvern, Mavis... Gonna be okay.
Does see Schofield and the Brood Mothers. They come in, or at least the baby Brood Mothers.
The children.
Spiders are always the most annoying bosses in any video game. I will say that.
I don't know why people have that impression. You know, usually it's because they have some sort of like venom, right? So it's like, oh, you fight them, you get a status effect, you hate that. You have to carry an antidote. Like, it's not that bad.
And fire is the coolest enemy to play against.
Throw a snowball at it and does like 500 damage every time. I don't know.
I mean, the snowball is in trouble. The snowball is gonna save himself though. With that Cold Embrace. Oh, Shanks comes in with the Magnetize. Vacuum misses. And that means Execration might have to get back over here, especially since Javs comes in. Winter's Curse has been dropped down to try and help them disengage from that position. Tino should have a Centaur stun, or at least from his neutral creep. Execration trying to get back over here, but the Magnetize is doing plenty of work. Mortimer gets his going to be sent out. It's a Timbersaw who is able to chain away, but gets burnt. Is going to be the first casualty in this fight, and they even find a Tendril stun. Fire Snap Cookie once again dodged away, but you cannot dodge that blast. Abed falls, gives away his dominating streak, and the entire lead from Playtime that they spent so much time building up has just been negated.
I love the way that they planted the sentry, so they spot the Nyx assassin. No, he's not nearby, and able to get the kiss off. First kisses of the game being used by Bob, but to huge impact. And again, Tino, great wall as well. However, it was a fight without wits. This Doom remains relatively unchallenged, which is quite scary for our friends here in Philippines. Oi!
Abed seems to have heard you, Optimo, as he does seem to have a bit more energy to go for that charge, but no, he'll just get back.
Timbersaw is working.
You didn't say the third. You didn't say the third Philippines. It's three Philippines. You know that maybe that would have been enough.
Okay. If I gave, but I would have given him Filipino energy. The problem is the other side is 5 Philippines, so I would have given him the 5 times as much energy. So I was trying to be fair to Abed.
That is true. You can't. Shanks. Akashi is the one being chased down over here. He does have that Orchid. There's no way to know if Schofield is nearby. They drop down an Observer Ward, and Akashi, he was able to drop out a sentry too, so he saw that ward come out, it will be taken out, and now he goes in towards the Mirana. Orchid burn is going to be enough to take out El Misho. It is Playtime, who thought they had the upper hand because of the additional numbers, but this Brood, Akashi, outplayed them.
Massively. Puts down sentry. He's like, okay, I know something's going on. Moves back. The D-Ward tries to come out from El Misho. Orchid killed. That was 3 people there. The tip that Akashi did, mwah, very nice. That was the Filipino energy we gave him earlier, working overtime.
Yeah, we could say that Akashi, his spider senses were tingling.
Get out. Get out. We don't want your kind around here with those bad jokes. No, that's very good. Well done, well done. Should definitely go see the new Spider-Man movie at some point.
I don't like the new... is it animated?
No, the real one. Live action.
I like how you said the real one. I agree. I agree with that assessment.
There you go. Thank you. All right.
But execution, for the first time in this game, I barely saw the lead go in their favor before shifting back just now. 9-9, even out on that kill feed. You take a look at the net worth, and where it was Playtime who were so far ahead, now Akashi has as much net worth as Witch does. The Darkseer isn't that far behind the Timbersaw, so Execration are bringing themselves back. So in an even matchup, who do you see coming out ahead at that mid-game timing?
Still feel like Playtime have something, a lot more control. They have the Doom as well, a very tanky, a couple of tanky cores. I like it still on Playtime, but they've been doing well on Execration. Fight begins,
and it ends.
Good.
Oh, maybe
Good
not.
dust.
Moonlight Shadow is there. They take out that Observer Ward, so they have that vision advantage. And Execration, if I were them, I'd strongly consider going back, and they do. They also have the Helm of the Overlord. This is not really an item that Darkseers commit to. Helm of the Dominator is fine, but you don't really go all the way.
Yeah, I wonder what creep he really wants to go with it. He's got the Black Dragon right now just for that nice push that you can do with it. But I agree. Not often that we see it. And good move there by CML. Throws out the dust when the fight when the fight begins. He spots out that the Doom is coming in invisible. They say, okay, let's just go back instantly.
What kind of itemization should the Darkseer have in this game, as far as auras are concerned, or do you not need any? Because most of the damage coming out from Playtime is, from at least 2 of their cores, is pure.
We don't really see Darkseers go for auras anymore. It's like Blink, Ags, Refresher Orb, things like that are coming out. He's going for the Shard right now because of that extra slow that it provides. And also, Surge is kind of critical in this game to get away from the Doom, right? As long as you're not doomed, you can save anyone else.
Execution, he's going to come in with... He does not have a BKB and has fallen pretty low. Hit by that Fire Snap Cookie. Vacuum on Schofield, and Execution are going to come down hard on Playtime.
He actually Orchided a creep, by the way. And still Execration get the kill onto. I thought that was going to be massively punished, but Shanks has been functioning incredibly well as that secondary source of silence. So even though we know Akashi was late with his Orchid or misuses his Orchid like just now, it doesn't matter. Shanks is there.
And we do have to point out that the Nyx Assassin isn't really a defensive support. And he's been trying to make moves around the map, but Schofield really hasn't been given any openings to by Execration.
Yep. Like, you pick the Nyx Assassin, you think maybe I can find like the Brood Mother, get some solo kills, but it just hasn't happened at all. Neither has he countered a single kiss from the Snapfire because he just hasn't been able to use the Spike Carapace while she's kissing people.
And to be fair, Execration, they're not really taking fights with the Mortimers either, right? I think we saw just the one near that Roche pit. But apart from that, it's just been these, I would say, small pickoffs that they've been finding. Most of the pickoffs have been found by the Broodmother, ironically.
I mean, you have the Orchid. You want to be very active for your team right now. I do expect a BKB or a Manta from the Doom. Really needs to get one of those very quickly. And El Misho has actually decided not to go for Greaves and to rush the Aghanim Scepter. Bit of a risky choice, since that doesn't help you against the Orchid and the multiple silences the enemy have.
Has that surge. Oh, but in fact, Shanks, who finds that crash onto El Misho. And this, now that I'm actually seeing this Helm of the Overlord with the Ion Shell, what he's doing, Tino is farming away the Radiant Triangle. Oh, Wits, he gets caught out way too far out, and this time around, he has no ally beside him. Has no choice but to fall where he stands. Schofield did come in, but in the end, that won't change the result. He may have taken down Shanks, but man, oh man, Execration, they are pretty far ahead as far as the moves are concerned.
Doom was used on a support, and I know he had to do that to get the kill, but you're still very happy on Exertion. You're like, guys, Doom was used for practically a kill we were very happy to give anyway. CML gets the shard. Meh. Yeah, not a fan.
Would have much rather it go to, well, nearly anyone else.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not actually sure what the Earth Spirit shard is. To be fair with you,
I feel like I know it. I'm not sure if it's really relevant.
Oh yeah, I think it's like 2-second cooldown reduced on rolling boulder or boulder smash or something on it, and a bit of an impact as well.
Are scanning.
Analysts, people, we there's stuff we don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Dire's middle
4,000
You wanna make
lead.
it- You want to make any guesses before I tell you what the shard is?
I think it reduces the ever so slightly reduces the charge time for the boulders, for the stones.
Oh yeah, for his innate. Okay, the stone remnant. All right. Loading, taking forever. Whatever. We'll get to that in a little bit. Woods is working towards the BKB. Desperately needs it. BKB has also been finished on jabs. Helpful for sure. There's just a ton of magic, sort of the disables and silences on the other side.
Is that a Shadow Blade that I see?
On
No, it's a Smoke of Deceit.
I was like, when I was like, Winter Wyvern, he's got something purple. To be fair with you, at one point, Winter Wyvern was played as a core, and Shadow Blade Silver Edge was very common for her.
I would actually imagine a Shadow Blade for the Winter Wyvern support is not that bad either.
Blink Aeon Disc feels a lot better if you ask me. Like maybe later on you want it, but early on you have to go Blink Aeon. And yes, the shard decreases cooldown by 3 seconds of Geomagnetic Grip and increases allied cast range at full speed. So
I meant the Geomagnetic Grip. I just couldn't find the right word.
Of course. Yes, of course you did.
Ancient Black Dragon falls, and it's going to be the Timber who does pick up that kill. So you get about, you get a fair amount of gold in your piggy bank. They go for Smoke of Deceit, despite of having the Moonlight Shadow, so they might be holding that one for that disengagement. It's going to be Bob. The first point of contact, Schofield is going to whiff his stun, and that one is going to sting Playtime. Particularly because Schofield could get turned upon over here. He sees massive amounts of teleports coming in. Fire Snatch, okay, is going to land. Wits now going in. Another Doom on just the support as the vacuum comes out in response. Mortimer start to fly out. There is no Carapace to cancel that one. But Execration, they now bring in Akashi. With his BKB has ran out and he might just fall, but no, it's jabs to hold that front line. It's only Akashi, though, left to fend for himself. Where is your Snapfire? Nowhere to be seen. Execration, they lose the 4.
Not much you could have done there on Bob, honestly. Already had used the cookie, you used the kisses as well. Akashi walks in. Unfortunately, there's no target for him to go for. Gets the Orchid onto the Ember, but instantly Jab uses the Lotus Orb and cancels it out. The Doom coming out on the Winter Wyvern, I was like, you're like thinking, does that really need it? But completely removes all that big control that they have on Execration. Bob!
Oh no. Why not? Why should the rest of his team die and him live?
Not like that, Bobby.
King Bob, as
The King
his
Bob.
former coach has described him, and in fact the coach of the team that he might play against should they win here.
So look at that replay. Yeah, there was a nice guess, by the way, to find Schofield like that. Really good, but instantly they're able to bring down the Winter Wyvern. The kisses come up, but it doesn't matter because there's a BKB there. So there's not much impact to get out of the Mortimer's kisses. Shanks also dies on the way to that fight. And Akashi, I like that he uses the Orchid here on Abed, but just gets instantly removed. And he doesn't have a BKB either.
And that really was the theme for the last game as well, right? Post-vacuum, there was no real follow-up. And it kind of feels like for Execration, that's the same thing. As soon as Wits BKB comes out, there's not too much to do. The Shanks was also disabled from coming in with the Rolling Boulder and the Magnetize. That may have been additional amounts of magical damage. And the Mortimers had to be cancelled because the Timber jabs, he was about to go on that Snapfire. So Playtime disabled Execration from all fronts in that fight. It's going to be Bob once more in trouble. Fire Snap Cookie is there, and this time around CML, he's able to land that Winter's Curse. Shanks uses the Magnetize, but again, the BKB is on the move. It doesn't really feel like Playtime are taking in any kind of damage. With his BKB might just run out as he tries to chase after that Darkseer who has used his BKB, but it is pure damage. And Schofield is going to lose his life in response. Wits, though, he gets taken out by the Brood. And the Mortimers, they're going to be enough. It's now the Timbersaw. Jabs trying to run for his life, but gets taken out on that cliff. Is going to fall. It's Execration. Despite of... It really feels like whoever starts the fight, Automo, ends up losing it.
Oh, yes. They're going to go for more. The silence is there. Almisho, double silence. That means she can't talk, nor can her lion even roar. But the big thing here was that very good use of the Winter's Curse by CML onto the BKB to Abed. And Abed's like spends half of his BKB duration just standing there doing nothing. And same thing with the Timbersaw. Timbersaw walks in, he's like, I might as well hit him, wasting some of his time as well. So that's why you doom the Winter Wyvern.
And unfortunately, the first point of contact was Bob, and they weren't sure whether they wanted to go in for Bob or not. And by the time they made their decision, Execration were able to make up a formation, were able to formulate a plan as to how to take that fight. It will be Roshan collected, the Aegis in the hands of Akashi, as now the Ember Spirit does get caught. Schofield lands a nice two-man impale. Abed trying to build up the space, trying to take out Bob. It's not happening. Winter's Curse once more comes out, and Akashi is well placed in position to take apart Abed, but he's able to BKB and run away. It's going to be the Timbersaw Jabs who does go in, finds the kill on Shanks, but has to run because Bob, or rather the Ember, can't rejoin the fight.
Did they lose the gem though? Oh, wait, no, that was the next assassin. He was able to pick it up for Jab, so they didn't lose the gem on Execration's side, luckily for them. 1-for-1 trade in the end. I believe that they tried to get the kill on Abed, but maybe not getting the Orchid off in time, and Abed was able to survive. I would say that engagement, considering how everything is going, you're okay with that for playtime, trading 1-for-1 like that. Oh, the Croaker. Yep, massive. He gets ravaged just like that.
And, you know, the potential for that to happen with a vacuum is always going to be present. The question is, what happens when these BKBs go down to the 7 seconds, Automo? You know, it's not the 6 seconds that felt really low. Valve increased the timer. Now it's at a minimum of 7. But the way that I look at these fights is that playtime are strong when the BKBs are up, but very weak when they don't have their BKBs.
Yeah, the win condition for Execration is 2 things. 1, kill the Nyx. 2, wait for BKBs to go, and then you just get the kisses out. And Granny's kisses, man, they pack a punch.
Yeah. The cookies too. Double chocolate chip, as Almisha just found out.
You know, you eat a couple of these, you go on the scale, and a few days later, you're like, wait, how did I gain, you know, 1.5 kilos? That's Grandma's cookies.
Akashi takes out the tier 1 tower. Schofield trying to, I mean, I don't know what he's trying to find. What do you think he's trying to find?
Hope, the will to play the game. You know, it's like, well, I need something to keep me going. We're in a pretty bad spot right now. Ironically, there's a net worth. It's not much. It's just that the Execration heroes feel very, very strong right now with fresh BKBs on like Akashi, with the Aegis as well. The lineup is working out pretty damn well for them too.
And Execration, they are, I mean, they're forming up right now. They push back the Doom, it's able to activate the BKB, but I feel like that's another charge taken away from it, and now it's going to be on cooldown. Now you might be forced to give up even more, as they have complete control of your triangle, but Schofield, he's able to take down Shanks. And so Execration, if they want to fight, it'll be a 4v5, but no BKB on Wit, so let's see what kind of decision they're going to make.
Shanks rolled in a little bit too much, and I love the reminder there from our observer. I also like the image of the brood mother, right? It's like just kind of shows up on the side, like, "Hey, I'm here." But a couple of big items coming out for Execration. They have the Blink Dagger on Tino. They also have the Kaya Yasha available on the Snapfire. Ultra late game Snap, not as good as it used to be now that you can't spam Divine Rapiers.
Winter Wyvern does get caught. Tino, who tried to come in, won't be able to help him out. And Execration, once again, they've started to be picked off on the map. Need to bring it back.
Surprising, because they're the ones with the Aegis. You would think that the game would go a little bit more in their favor at the moment, but those pickoffs have been quite painful for them. I am in awe of Akashi's farm. He's beating out a Doom with Radiance, a carry Doom with Radiance for that matter, by 2,000 gold nearly. Oh, well, 1,500 at this point.
Yeah, Akashi certainly very farmed up on the Broodmother. Has a Lincoln Sphere as well against Wits with the Doom. And it's actually surprising how Wits, he may be, you know, very high up on the net worth, but doesn't actually have the items to show for it.
Akashi is absolute, you know, he cannot be defeated.
Darkseer going for the Shiva's Guard. Has that Blink Dagger. It's... I feel like the possibility of finding these big wombo combos is just going to increase as time goes on. And for Execration, the executions are only going to get easier and easier.
I suppose, yeah, once the BKBs go down. And of course, you know, once you have that 75 talent for Darkseer and the Shiva's Guard, your vacuums become even bigger and bigger. And also the...
Sorry to cut you off. What do you think Bob is pressing? The game is paused. Like, he's spamming his keyboard as if he's playing the game.
Oh, I love the way they do that, right? Maybe he's clicking, like he was pressing on different things around the map, like who's got what items, things like that, just to make sure everything's okay. So that is how I generally feel like is probably what Bob is doing. But yeah, I was going to say that making the wall on the Doom would be very good. Look at the crowd having fun there.
Those are some fantastic hairstyles. I love that.
Yes, we would know as two bald men what is fantastic hairstyles. Certainly enjoy the hair what lasts, boys, you know.
Well,
you know
I mean, that
say,
hair looks like it's going to last, Ottoman, to be fair to them.
Ah, true. For us, it's hair today, gone tomorrow.
Hair is a temporary state of existence for us.
Look at all the hair. So jealous. I
do like the fact that the crowd looks like they're having a good time. You know, everyone seems high energy. And, you know, they're showing up for probably, I know, one of the biggest esport events in Kazakhstan, in Astana.
In the year, in general, right? Heroes of the Future is a massive event, and it's awesome to see people coming here for multiple sports from all over the world, especially the focus from Asia as well as China, and South America, right? Like, these are regions that, particularly in Dota, we don't get enough of them, I feel like. So it's good to see them get the stage all to themselves.
Yeah, I would definitely want more events, you know, in Kazakhstan, in the, I would say, eastern part of the hemisphere.
I see. All right, guys. Taltus wants to fly in next year. We'll make it happen. Look at that. I love the info. You can see the max, like the team net worth, the overall KDA for each squad. There we go. Hey, boys. Having fun?
I don't think they heard you, Otimo.
I know. It's sad. Oh, Bob's looking over there. He's like, what's going on? Come on. Unpause already. I want to win.
It's going to be... I mean, it's still a long journey to actually win this game, even if things start going right. This is going to be one of those games where I feel it's going to go past that 40-minute mark, maybe even that 45 to 50-minute mark like it did in that last game. Because that last game, even though Playtime were like super far ahead, it didn't really seem like they were able to close out that game. And even if Execration comes out ahead, again, it's a Southeast Asian team. If there's one thing a Southeast Asian team lacks, or in general, you know, and this is the big point. I've spoken to multiple coaches about this, multiple players about this. They all mention that breaching that high ground is something that every Southeast Asian team struggles with.
That's true. And we've seen, like, I feel like Reconyx has also almost thrown a couple of games in this tournament by going high ground and not doing sort of the best job. To be fair, though, We got a little bit of sea flavor on one side. We got a little bit of more sea flavor on the other. So we'll see how playtime, if they're going to be able to match that as when not throw the game if they get the advantage. Akashi gets the shard. I believe that makes your spiders get the impact of your ultimate, or sorry, of your bloodlust thing. Forgot what it was. A bit of extra damage and lifesteal on the broodlings.
Do the broodlings matter in this game though? Because you have, you quite frankly, a lot of AoE damage. And to be more specific, should the Ember Spirit build up something like a Maelstrom this game to increase the damage output coming in from the style of fights, because you have so many of those units?
No, you don't need it that far. And the broodlings matter once he gets the Bloodthorn again, right? Like, they do decent damage, they get even more damage once the Bloodthorn activates. Meanwhile, Almisho has finished his Agam Scepter. Does not want Greaves, wants the Agam Scepter. Very, very bold decision.
It could be a bit too greedy. As Wits has the Shiva's Guard. This isn't exactly a hard carry Doom build-up. I would say the Shiva's Guard is great because you add in more AoE damage, you have more slow, more control to chase after Execration with. But Execration will be able to take down the tier 2 tower. So it does seem like while there are power spikes coming in for both teams, the power spikes from Execration seem just a tad bit more impactful.
One of those power spikes is going to make you very happy. Shadow Blade on Winter Wyvern.
Actually?
CML. Yeah. No,
I told you, bro. Like, it's the prediction power. You don't. I'm gonna mention, you don't get the big tier 1 as a coach, without having some things right.
All right, okay. Gee, I mean, I don't know if your head got bigger or not just now. But you're right. It does give him quite a bit of right click, a way to sort of escape out of enemies. It's one of the few things that cannot be nullified as well. So neither of them can the Cold Embrace, but still, it's a nice way to keep him alive as they smoke up on playtime. Aegis has expired. Can they get pick up on Execration? They all seem nearby.
3 BKBs versus 3 BKBs. Daytime, they saw the smoke come out. Oh, it's a great jump in by Jabs. Shanks will absolutely just wither away. BKBs do come out by Execration. They have to tuck tails and run back to their high ground. But it's going to be Ovid who will chase in after him. Wits interrupts Akashi, who activates his own BKB. With Execration, they just have to huddle up together and disengage completely from this fight because it is pretty much over for them.
Only losing Shanks, though, considering how badly that fight began, you count your lucky stars that it didn't go worse for them. And without an Aegis on the ground, playtime, while that was scary, and they could have gotten a lot out of it, they just get a position 4 and nothing else. It's not too bad for Execration. Intimidating, though. Very intimidating.
I mean, that damage from that Timbersaw, man, that was just so much. It almost felt like that one spell would have taken out both of those scores. Like the second hero that survived, I can't remember who it was, but just dropped about 80% of its HP. Why are there 2 Shiva's Guards?
Well, you don't just... I mean, firstly, the damage is not bad, and secondly, each one gives you that 75 AoE. So it's not like there's an aura to it that you have to worry about. Well, there is, but still, the active part is what's useful. I like the double Shiva's Guard. I think it's fine. Almisho has decided to go back for the Guardian Greaves, though. As we mentioned, the Dispel super good in this game.
Just dispel away that Orchid if it gets planted down on you, and you have the leap away, you can escape, and you can also drop the Moonlight Shadow, so it also allows your team to escape. So I completely agree. The Guardian Greaves is so good, and is the Aghanim Scepter like necessary? You do have a Broodmother, so that one arrow just takes out all of the Broodlings. But apart from that,
yeah, I feel like you could have gotten it after the Guardian Greaves, but Almisho's the pro. He knows what he's doing. He thinks that he really, really needs this Axe fast. Sure, he's going for it. Oh my!
Winter Scourge has come out once more. CML, he's going to be pulled by the Earth Spirit. Shanks will attempt to save CML, but I don't think it's... Oh, CML, is he going to... Okay, surely not. Surely not. That gave me a mini heart attack, Automo. I was like, if he gets out from that position, what can't he get out of?
If he had TP'd instantly, he would have not made it out, but he actually hesitates for a little bit, thinking like, I'm gonna die. And he's like, wait, I might live. And then Akashi, good Manta.
They might be forced to give up this tier 2 tower, but it doesn't really seem like Execration want to do that. They are posturing onwards constantly. Fire Snap Cookie is not going to land, but they are able to activate their BKBs in time. Schofield heals back up with that Lotus as there's no vacuum coming in. They're still waiting. Shanks is dead. The Winter Wyvern has bought back, and they will be able to take out Schofield, but for losing a support and having to buy back, that's not worth it for Execration.
Well, one thing that's nice is that he did kill the gym holder. So they were able to get the gym out of his hands. Will help them out because, you know, if you're walking around the Schofield with a gym, you're able to remove so much vision from the enemy team. You're walking around blind on Execration. So this is... I'm not saying it's worth the buyback, but it's not a loss for Execration. So I win, it's a draw.
Wits is but a Heart of Tarask. This is an item that I really don't see on the Doom. What is...
It is unusual, actually. You're right, we don't see this very often on the Doom. It does make him very durable, I suppose, which is nice. But... I do wonder why he feels like he needs the heart. Then again, what else are you really going to make? Like, Axe is kind of fine, but it's not that amazing. No, you don't want Butterfly. Overwhelming Blink can usually go a bit later. So yeah, I'm okay with the hearts.
Oh, Timber jumps right in. Akashi has the Spirit Vessel debuff on him, but is able to make it back to his triangle, huddle up around. CML heals up the Dominator creep instead of Akashi.
Well, yeah, it's more important. Oh, here we go.
He will disable the Doom Witch from being able to acquire the Haste Rune, which is in incredible danger, is able to activate the BKB, Scorched Earth, and tries to run away. The Broodmother is doomed up. Akashi trying to get away, but it's too late. It is just simply too late. Akashi will fall, but not to playtime. He will be denied by Roshan. However, Execration, they will lose the fight, do not have a buyback on their Wyvern, and will have to abandon that Roshan.
Oi, the two, as mentioned, no buybacks. Interesting use of the Winter's Curse to try to put jabs away from Wits, but Wits is so tanky because he's got a heart. So Execration, even though they were able to sort of isolate him, he activates the BKB, he's got the Radiance Miss, and here comes, Conjure's Catalyst, actually adding to that damage quite nicely.
Tier 3 tower now being besieged, it seems like Playtime, instead of going for Roshan, they decide that, hey, they know that there's no buyback on that Wyvern, so why not go for that high ground, take apart the barracks, and then go for Roshan? They might have enough time for that as Execration. This is looking risky for them, 12,000 of a lead.
Yeah, but there's no creeps. I think that Abed's trying to push top lane to make sure the creeps reach in time. Backdoor protection takes 15 seconds to activate. Do you know that? And did you see that? It just came out for like a millisecond. I love the logic that the backdoor protection activates only when there's no one nearby. They're like, wait, the enemies are here? Turn off the protection. You're like, wait, that doesn't seem right, guys. I feel like that's illogical.
There is an overwhelming blink on that Timber. So, I mean, I would like to see the hero damage he's able to dish out or at the end of the game, because it really feels like most of the damage is coming from him. Like Wits, you know, he has that heart, he has that Shiva's Guard. It's not as if this Doom is doing much right-click damage.
No, the best thing about the Doom is if you can make an illusion for Darkseer, like, and you get the Radiance, but that's about it. Like the rest of the hero himself doesn't do too much in the right-click department, unfortunately, for Execration. And look at that net worth. Top 3 cores of playtime, very comfortable. Akashi kind of contesting, but not the other two. Sanava.
That's a lot of hate on that Croaker. And I don't mean the arrow, I mean the words that the Mirana used. This is bad language.
To be fair, she hates anything that blocks her arrow as Bob's in. Ooh, good use of the Winter's Curse.
However, the Winter himself is about to be taken out. Wits will be able to find the kill. Execration now have to get back, trying to teleport away from that Darkseer. Will be successful in that regard, but they're not able to apply any kind of damage down to playtime. They're not able to counterplay at all.
Shanks in general has just been trying throwing his body forward to try to keep everyone alive. All of his scores are up. He does have buyback, but it looks like playtime, they're not going to be even taking advantage of his death. They're just going to say, let's go for Roche. Seems better.
And maybe because I would have expected the Execration are stronger in that late game. it feels like there's no combos coming out. There's no vacuums that we're seeing. It's the BKBs, while they're up from playtime, make them invincible nearly. And so what exactly is supposed to be the move by Execration?
Comes down to the thing we mentioned earlier. Kill the Nyx assassin and wait for at least one of the BKBs to be dropped. That's really the only way you can win a fight on Execration's side. You gotta use the Mortimer's Kisses. Unfortunately, Snap, her level 25 talent was nerfed. You used to get 8 kisses, now you only get 6. So, whoopsie.
Orbit going to come in with a Searing Chains. Bob has the BKB. Now,
Pull.
I want to ask you, if at that 42-minute mark, had this been an Earth Spirit mid, would the game be different?
That's such a hard question to say. Would like to answer, because you really don't know. The whole laning phase would have changed. His impact throughout the whole game would have changed. We wouldn't have a Snap mid. We would have had a support Snap.
Bob?
Like, it's very hard to tell.
This is dangerous. He doesn't have a BKB. He's going to have that Carapace spin him down, and now has nowhere to go. He blinks away, but they are going to chase in after him. Even if Schofield's stun does not land, playtime, no. There is no way Bob makes it out of this position. Execration will lose their mid laner, and he's now down for about 90 seconds.
Beautiful use of the mechanics. Oh, CML probably not lose his life.
Yeah, this is just all falling apart for Execration. They might just lose another lane of barracks because of Bob just being so far out of position. And not even so far, actually. He was very close to his base. He just couldn't go back.
It was really good by Schofield. He walks and he sees the puddle on the ground, and he's like, someone was very scared of me just now. I'll put on my carapace, walks into that puddle, and catches Bob. He interrupts his TP because of that. Doesn't have to find him. He just walks into his cookie. Puddle. Glob.
I don't think it's a puddle.
It's puddle-ish, isn't it?
It is
Feels like a
puddle-ish. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's done on a puddle. Puddle makes me think it's made of water.
I mean, who's to say that he wasn't watering the floor, you know, out of fear?
With fire.
Well, yes, he should probably get that checked out to the doctor.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Is under attack.
You know,
It's
maybe
burning!
too many spices.
Well, it's a spicy game for right now. Execration is going to have to hold against a very, very tough group. They will have Bob in a few seconds, at
Arrow?
least.
It gets sent out, but doesn't really find anything. However, Witz is on that high ground. He has that Aegis, and it's going to be very hard to take him down. They will try. They will roll him back. Great vacuum comes out. Execration might be able to get it done this time around. But Jab on that back line takes apart Shanks. They've lost both of their supports as Akashi can't really find a target. Has his BKB expiring soon, and Witz realizes this. Will just jump on that Broodmother with a Doom applied, and Akashi, he's just trying to flirt with the outskirts of his own high ground. But it's not really going to be possible. He will simply fall where he stands. Execration, they buy back on that Wyvern, but it really feels like a game number 3 between both of these two teams looks inevitable.
They still have buyback on Akashi as well as Shanks if they want to use it. And oh, here we go. Buybacks. There we see some of them come out.
Akashi, he has bought back into this, but he has no BKB to play with. Another Winter's Curse comes out, but it is looking hopeless. Darkseer will buy back as well. Tino needs to come in quick, but they've already lost Akashi. They are huddled up inside of their fountain right now, and Jabs will dive right in there. He wants the kill. He wants that game number 3, and it really looks like he's gonna find it. Shanks will push Jabs out of the map, stun him down with that rolling boulder, but it will be Jabs who will acquire that rampage and finishes Execration and will be acquiring that game number 3.
Congratulations to Jab on that rampage at the end. When we saw the draft, I feel like from the start we were saying like it seems so much easier for playtime to get it going, right? You have the Nyx Assassin against the Snapfire, and while he didn't interrupt many kisses, that cookie, when he found the puddle, would... However, that's going to put us into a game 3. So we're going to go to our panel. So we're going to go out of here. We're going to let the panel have a chance to tell us how that worked out how Playtime made an amazing recovery in game 2.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
Үлкен істер әр қадамы жаңа жетістікке жетелейтін марафон. Біз осы жолды сіздермен бірге 10 жылдан бері жүріп келеміз. Тимур Құлыбаевтың халық қайырымдылық қоры.
Games of the future. Games
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026. What a magnificent aerial shot of the gorgeous modern city of Astana as we head through the tunnel. Welcoming you back to our studios here. I'm David Bloch, joined by my good friend Shulpan, our queen of all things trivia. Good to be with you again.
Good to be back after such an exciting game, match 2 between Execration and Playtime.
Now listen, as we say in South Africa, yo. That was a thrilling ride. We first thought potentially Execration might lose that map 1. Came fighting fit, fighting back to take it ahead of Playtime. And then Playtime take map number 2.
Making the actual comeback. And did you see that rampage trap?
Wow. And that's exactly what I'm also for. You're safe and you're into the home run. Boom! Jab comes in with an incredible rampage. So that is going to be taking us to a third game with map 3. It's anyone's guess who is going to take this one today. Super exciting. Great to be with you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us as we present to you our day 3 of the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026. So, with anything of the nature and of the scale of the games like the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026, we could not do it without the incredible support of our sponsors, one of whom is Bank Center Credit. You can download the Bank Center Credit online banking app and manage your finances. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, David. And also to keep track of such exciting results like we just recently had, please visit our official games website to keep informed with all the schedules and all the results.
And you can experience every moment of the games of the future with our next sponsor, Sven.
Thank you, David. And also, we would like to remind everybody tuning in that we are a multi-stream broadcast. So we have some exciting disciplines coming up with Phygital Dancing, sponsored by Solid Core Resources, running from the 6th to the 7th of August at BRICS Arena.
Thank you so much, Shulpan. Absolutely. And these are just some of our sponsors and partners who we've been incredibly proud to have as part of and support this year's Phygital Games of the Future in Astana 2026. So you mentioned the BRICS Stadium as well, the BRICS Arena. There are some incredible venues that are hosting some of our tournaments. Give us some insight into maybe what some of these venues are, the fact that how, I know some of them are multi-purpose venues as well. Some of them have proven themselves in a lot of previously international hosted events. And this is what makes this city so exciting.
I would love nothing more. Let's talk about Dota, since we are center action during the Dota.
Yeah.
It is held at the Jastiluk Ushkimpirov Martial Arts Palace, which, fun fact, is designed from an aerial view as a soaring gold eagle, symbolizing Kazakhstan's courage, independence, and freedom. That is just one of the 4 major venues that we are using to host these amazing and futuristic Games of the Future Astana 2026.
And it is an incredible city to behold. A virtual world also being created to show exactly how this city truly epitomizes a world, a city, a country of the future. It's not a future that's being projected. It's a future we are living in right here, right now.
What an amazing observation, David. Yes, I always like to say Astana not only preserves its history, but is actively building its future.
Absolutely. Now, we have just been given word that PUBG will be starting, Shulpan, in approximately 1 hour. But if everyone turns their attention to our screens coming up, you'll see that schedule smack bang right in front of you. This is where you can keep up to all of the timings of the events coming up. And we'll be sharing that momentarily as we once again present to you our Phygital Games of the Future schedule for 2026. Continuing to August the 3rd, Phygital Basketball. Until August the 6th, Battle Royale. Until August the 5th, MOBA PC. And right up until our last day of play, August the 4th to the 9th, it's Phygital Football. Of course, our very worthy sponsors that are presented those games with us.
followed by Phygital Shooter going from the 4th to the 8th of August. And then we're moving on to MOBA Mobile, running up until the last day of August 9th, Phygital Dancing just the 2 days, August 6th and 7th, and Phygital Fighting, ending with a strong bang from the 8th of August until the 9th.
Indeed. And then, of course, recapping today's schedule with MOBA PC presented by Center Credit, Battle Royale presented by Alatau City Bank, and Phygital Basketball presented by Halleck Fund. We are going to be saying goodbye to a few teams at Phygital Basketball today, so that's going to be one to look out for. I never get tired of looking at this incredible digital world that has been created for us on screen. It's a beautiful fly-through of a city that is really part of the future.
Likewise, David, we just saw the botanical garden. So I'm really proud of the fact that even though Astana is really modern, architecturally built, we still leave space for that beautiful nature.
What we've always said is what epitomizes Astana is the fact that where in most cities around the world landmarks speak to a history or a tradition of a particular place, here they really represent the future that we are living in. It's a city that truly not only is hosting the games this year, but is truly the embodiment of the spirit of what the games are all about. We are going to be standing by to be crossing over to map 3 of the exciting Dota culmination between Execration and Playtime, as we wait to get word that we'll be crossing live to them. If there is one particular, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, Shulpan,
No
if there's
problem.
one particular traditional Kazakhstani dish, what would it be that we should, as a guest in your country, what should we try first?
Well, there are many, but to try first, I
Yeah.
would recommend the baursak, which is sort of like a fried donut,
Yeah.
but tastier in my perspective.
Well, listen, anything that's fried for me sounds amazing, sounds delicious, and it sounds like something I should be eating as soon as we take a break. It's going to be an exciting couple of hours coming up next. Of course, wanting to remind you that Dota 2, one of the big players with one of the big paychecks, $1 million. And as we've seen, you can expect the unexpected with our two teams who are playing today.
Execration and Playtime.
It's anyone's tournament, everybody, so make sure that you stay tuned. This is the benefit of a multi-stream broadcast where there can be simultaneous sporting codes happening at the same time. Stick with us as we head into the tunnel. This is Execration versus Playtime.
Much of a counterplay available to Execration. They really were not able to come up with any kind of counterplay potential. It didn't really seem like those vacuums were coming out, or the damage was really there for Execration in that late game.
Yep, it's been a bit of a tough situation really for Execration, because it looked pretty okay, but they were always playing from behind, right? Like, Brood Mother tends to win the lane, get a fast Orchid, dominate the map, but that never happened. Akashi played well, very well really, considering the tools that he had, but it was still always from behind. And yeah, that's going to be the official website of the games, by the way, Astana2026.gofuture.game. Should check it out at some point.
Definitely worth checking out, especially since there are so many of other games also happening. We have, I believe we have Counter-Strike from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. But overall, a lot of titles, a lot of Phygital titles, I would say. As it's, you know, like Steelborko said, it's a pretty unique format where you not only have to be good with your hands, you also have to be good with your feet.
I would say good with your body overall, right? Like, we're saying that you mentioned like laser tag and basketball and all these fun things. I would like that. And when you play sports, you're like, oh yeah, this is fun. Why did I stop doing this? Why has it been 20 years since I touched a basketball? However, these teams are not here to play basketball. They're here to play Dota. Game 1 went very nicely for Execration, a very good comeback. Game 2, we felt like the draft was well, no, I wouldn't say significantly better, but significantly easier to play for Playtime. That proved to be the point. But it was the winning of the lanes that ended up kind of costing Execration Game 2. Or
The
losing
game-
the lane, sorry.
But they were doing well in that mid game. Right? They were actually finding the better exchanges for some reason, it really felt like the late game damage just wasn't there. Like there was, honestly, Playtime was just mowing them down like a lawnmower.
I think a part of it comes down to the Earth Spirit kind of being played as a support. I thought that was very odd. We weren't really a big fan of it, and ended up being like not Shanks' best hero. On the other hand, his Hoodwink, very, very nice.
It is. And you have a Treant Protector on the other side. Remember how this series of the game number 1 started? Both sides came up with a mid lane pick. Now both sides are actually thinking, hey, let's actually play the meta Dota and not reveal all our cards from the very get-go.
It's like it evolves as you play, right? You have these ideas, and then you go in, you say, okay, this idea actually works, this idea doesn't work. And yeah, both of them were picking mids. Now, they did that even game 2, right? But we thought one of them was, but it was Earth Spirit and Ember being picked first too.
And they didn't play the Earth Spirit on that mid lane. They played the Sapphire on that mid side. I did think that, you know, we thought that it might have been better for the Earth Spirit on that mid lane. You know, Southeast Asian teams, they certainly do play very interesting pulse-4 roles. I recently covered a team which played a position 4 Axe. And did not really seem to work out.
No, I feel like support Axe is always going to be a bit memey. Right? It's like, it's okay. It just also feels a bit too weird. They banned out the Doom, though, from Execration, feeling like what Witz was able to do in that game 1 was a little too annoying. Game 2, sorry. If you ignore him, he's going to farm up like crazy. If you go for him, he's very tanky. He has the, you know, the Doom ability itself just to shut you down. So it's a bit of a risk either way. Now, Playtime. What do they want?
Before that, I would also like to give a bit of a shout out to the contrast that we have. It's very interesting that I saw it. I was thinking about it. Playtime or Execration are in all white, and Playtime are in all black. So when it actually pans from one team to the other, it looks really nice. Like the aesthetics are on point.
There's a bit of white on Playtime though, right? Like right in the middle. But yeah, it's very cool.
That's a bit of
we have
Execration
this
left over from what they did last game.
Execration, they need to. I was gonna say they need to take off their jackets. Like, come on, you can't wear jackets here. That ain't right. But this is what they're all here for, to compete in the Phygital games of the future here. All right, Execration, who are you gonna be picking up right now? You already have the Hoodwink.
They see the Invoker, so are you gonna go back to the Ember Spirit?
Centaur, there you go. Tool of success for them in game 1. They were able to get game 2 because it was banned out.
Oh. And the Ember Spirit is actually banned right now. So is the Doom and the Puck. So Bob, you can't go for the Lina either. I would actually imagine that you just pick up a support right now. Think about what mid lane pick you should go for after Playtime reveals their second support.
I like your idea of going for sports, right? Because, you know, if you take a mid, it's like Playtime's not going to take it. You have last pick in this stage anyway. Just save your mid for that one. Why worry about, oh, I'm going to take a mid now, then they take the Bane. You're like, oh, crap, that was completely not what we wanted.
Now, there are a few support heroes available for Playtime to disable that Bane. You don't necessarily have to go for a Wind Waker if you just pick a support like a Ringmaster that completely shuts down that Fiend's Grip and even that that Nightmare. Or you can go the Tusk route that they did in game number 1. The snowball saves were there coming in by Schofield. So let's see what Playtime opts into. It's actually going to be the Wit Necrophos.
Necrophos coming out very nice there by Playtime. And we'll see what if they're going to consider picking a support or their carry right now. Or sorry, not carry, they're offlane right now. They're going for all the cores here. Oy. You know, you were talking about like supports, but I feel like it's going to be El Micho on the train, so we probably won't be seeing a safe support unless it's the Schofield Tusk, as you mentioned. Or the Undying. I wouldn't mind Undying actually more so.
Undying plus the Necrophos is very oppressive, so I would imagine that, you know, if that is in consideration, that is a very strong pick for Playtime. Not to mention, you Nightmare to save someone, the zombies still spawn. So you're going to be in trouble. Great hero against that Centaur as well, stealing away the HP. I would actually imagine that an offlane Undying would also work for Playtime. You don't just have to play it as a support, but it is...
it's banned.
It is banned. I just saw that. And
yeah, me too.
Oh, wow. The
Okay.
extreme gaming route, except it's going to be a support. Is it going to be a support Earthshaker? Or is it an offlane Earthshaker?
Could be offlane, could be support. They're going to be flexing for a little bit. We'll see what they're working with. So far, Jabs hasn't been playing a whole lot of Earthshaker at least this tournament, but neither has Schofield. So it's going to go either way. Good counter to the Bane Fiend's grip from a mile away. Good way to sort of, if you can get a good fissure, block the Centaur from stampeding away.
Ooh, a Drow Ranger comes out by Execration. That is a lot of damage packed in, but you do have that Ghost Shroud. The only thing is, it's always a what-if scenario. What if you get hit by that Gust? That's silence, because Necro doesn't typically make that Manta style. And for Execration, I mean, you have that workhorse. We saw that in game number 1. We didn't really see it to its full effect, but with the Drow Ranger, that's like kind of like the perfect hero to put inside of your cart.
Yep, she benefits, I would say, one of the most as well, like if she can be put on the horse. But Drow Ranger, like a lot of times you think of Drow, I get Aghanims, I have hypothermia, I can reduce the healing and all that, but it doesn't work against Necrophos because you can't hit him in that situation. He just goes Shrouds and he doesn't care. So a bit awkward there for the Drow. Now, very likely a mid laner. Unfortunately, the only mid laner with a Dispel is on the other side.
Would you imagine a Largo works over here, but you can't really go for the Largo. I mean, Playtime's dropped, it seems this Earthshaker pick has thrown me off quite hard, and the Largo is also banned. Now it's time for the mid lane pick, though. You see all of those heroes, you see the fact that there are so many disables by Playtime. Going for a Spirit would be very risky, but I'm afraid they may not have an option but to go for something like the Storm.
A lot of the best picks are gone, right? Puck, Ember, Lina, Pango Void. Queen of Pain is in the pool. Not too bad in terms of damage, but you could go for something like a Sand King or a Primal Beast. Go melee, something frontline that's very tanky. I kind of like that route a bit more.
Slaughter would be pretty good. Corrosive Haze plus the marksmanship.
No, I don't like that because we're doubling down on the same problem. We can't hit them, the Necrophos, during Ghost Shroud anyway. So they go for, okay, I like this. They go for a Bat Rider. I wanted a more magic damage based mid, and the Bat Rider fixed that out. Now, Playtime, last pick for them. Still has to reveal to us, is this going to be Necro Carry or off? Is it going to be Earthshaker Core or support? So, quite flexible here with their last pick overall.
The Necro Carry has been coming out quite a few times in the past few weeks. And I would actually imagine that the Necro offlane is much better than playing, a pause 4 Earthshaker. And there it is. Klinks will be the safe lane, Necro will be the offlane, and the Invoker will be on that mid side. Klinks versus a Drow, right click versus right click, Ice versus Fire.
Living versus dead. Archer versus Archer, though. They do. Oh, well, actually, Crossbow versus Bow. Right, a lot of times she does that crossbow equipped instead of the normal bow. So I favor the Drow. I know that Klinks has the invisibility, can kind of show up out of nowhere, has sort of a lot of those skeletons for extra damage, but in general, I think the Drow is more useful. Unfortunately, it's not just Drow versus Klinks. There's a Necro and a Invoker as well.
You do have the Fiend's Grip, though. You have a BKB piercing ability.
True.
You have the Enfeeble, reduce the Klinks' attack damage by about 80%. You're going to have to dispel away that one. You might just have to build up a Lotus Orb. Even though the Invoker, you come in with a lot of control from Playtime's lineup, I would have actually imagined that there's going to be a lot of emphasis on this Gust, because it really seems like it's one of those abilities which Playtime are incredibly weak against. Like the Earthshaker is a sitting duck if he gets silenced. The Necro can't do anything if he's silenced. The Invoker can't do anything either.
This is and similar to the Game 1 draft, by the way, which is that, but they have Tino in the front line. On the other side, they don't really have someone who can start fights or stand out in the front. Maybe Necrophos a bit, but Necrophos generally wants to be like second person in, using his Death Seeker and being sort of after a couple of spells have been thrown out. So I'm going to go. I think Execration is going to take game 3, which I did not expect in this series that Execration would make it to game 3 or even win it.
Yeah, I think Execration have the stronger draft over here for sure. It just really feels like playtime. Sometimes too much flex is bad flex, and I'm afraid for them even in that mid to late game. Of course, Wits can still pop off. You are playing a Klinks, and if I were to wager, if I were to estimate which side or whose carry actually has more potential to snowball, I would actually say that the Klinks does. I would actually say that Wits has that. Because again, we spoke about this in, I believe it was the game between between Extreme Gaming and LGD. Wits is a whole lot younger than Akashi. Wits is going to be taking a lot more risks than maybe Akashi will.
Yeah, but Bob was younger than Abed, so it's like we're just gonna go all in on the age. But yeah, Wits is certainly. How old is Wits actually? Let me
Wits
see that
is,
for
I
a
think
second.
16 or 17.
What?
He's
that
as young as Tai Long. Oh, actually, he's 18.
He's 18. Come on, he's an old man at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I know I remember his birthday.
It's kind. Oh, dude, isn't it weird when you see him at 2008? You're like 2008, and then you go, wait, 2008 was 17 years ago, or 18 years ago, and then you go, oh shit, I was born 18 years almost before that. What?
Yeah, it's we're old now, Automo. We have to get used to it.
I'm not. I'm still 34 years young.
Yeah, but you got you got two adorable, beautiful little kids. So you became old a long time ago.
They do not age me. They make me happy. In the meantime, though, looking at this game, would love to see the draft a little bit more. I feel like again it's on Tino. If he can go forward, make some space. But you also have Bob on the Bats Rider, so he doesn't have to be the only point of contact. You get like this stampede, jump in, lasso, then you can run away very quickly to bring someone back. John calls it kidnapping maneuvers. Would you feel okay with that?
Yeah, I suppose that could be one way to describe the lasso. It's still hard to get the lasso off. Like how I get it. You go in with the lasso. How do you drag someone out?
With Stampede. That's hi. Look at him, happy.
The kid looks like he's about to hit 15k MMR. I'm just gonna put that on that. He may be, he's staring right at Wits. I'm coming for your spot.
If he hits 50k MMR, he'll be the best player in the world by far, right? At this point, right? Because we are all the way back to human numbers of MMR, not that inflated bullshit that we had for a while.
That did get out of hand.
That's crazy.
And, now we're just as good as the best players in the world, Automo.
Yes.
In terms of the numbers.
In terms of numbers, it ain't far. No one's doubling your MMR anymore.
Again, the hairstyles, man, they're pretty fantastic.
That's very good. Ever since before I shaved my head, I used to look at everyone's hair, but after I shaved my head, I was like, it doesn't matter. But they showed to you right on camera these giant, like, massive hairdos, and you're like, come on, guys, you're just making us jealous at this point.
I started noticing the hairstyles way more after I shaved my head.
Really?
Like I used to have really long hair up to my shoulders.
Okay. Okay. I find that interesting. I never had long hair. I'm like, it doesn't suit me. But maybe you have a picture of yourself with long hair. You can see that.
I do. And one time I was asked by my patient's parent. Why do you have such long hair? You're a doctor. And I'm like, aren't there any more relevant questions you have?
And he's like, no. The only thing I want to know is why is my doctor's hair long? You're like, what? Is that gonna interfere with my diagnosis? All right.
Oh, those were interesting times. And then COVID came, and those were not so interesting times.
Did they come, or did we all imagine it now?
You say that, but in peak COVID, I served in the emergency department, and while everyone had those those PPEs, the personal protective equipments, you know, everyone donning those in full spacesuits. And a person asked me, "Doctor, is COVID real?" And I was perplexed. I was thinking about how to answer this question. Because I was looking around in the ER, as you know, think about anything that would give away that, you know, we're all running a global Ponzi scheme. But
I was like, are you all doing this?
You know, naturally, I told them, you know, no, COVID, you know, it's not. You know, we're all in on the jig. You know.
It's like this global thing. We're only doing it to fool you specifically. You random patient number 4,200 and, you know, 32. It's like, oh, good. I knew. I was so smart. I was able to tell. You're like, sure you are.
But 4,233 was nice.
Screw him. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We
should be heading into it. It's going to be very interesting to see either of these two teams make it forward. Considering neither of these two teams are actually going to be at TI. Like this is the biggest prize pool that these two teams will compete for well, I mean, a month at max, but still.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, like, both of them were so close to making it to several other big tournaments, but unfortunately, just, you know, particularly Execration, who would get like second place and you need first, or third place and you need top two, and just was unable to qualify. However, pressure is on Execration in this one. You mentioned that they crumble under pressure. Now is not the time for it. Tournament lives and 10,000 USD on the line here. And Taltus, if you had 10,000 USD, what would you go out and buy?
Is your love on the cards, Otimo? Is that something I could buy with 10,000 USD?
No, because you already have it.
Oh, okay. I just saved 10,000 USD.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
invest that now. Now I have both. I'm rich and with your love.
I like how you think my love can be just like bought. That was very nice. I kind of, that's an interesting thing to think about.
I was asking you the number though.
I was like,
I wanted to know what the number is.
Love can't be bought, my friend. Although it can be rented at a reasonable price per hour.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, you give me the right number, Otimo, and you know, I will make you feel like the most loved person in the world.
I don't need to know anymore, Doctor. As we are waiting here for the game to start, seems like there is a bit of a tech issue. Or maybe they're all playing and we don't get to see the game. It's just like, maybe this is all just like the Ponzi scheme we mentioned. It's all being done just to mess with us.
Yeah, it seems like there's a problem with the settings or something. One of them looks really happy.
Abed is very happy. He's been smiling the whole time. I mean, if I looked as good as Abed, I think I'd also be smiling all the time. I'm like, look at how handsome I am. I'm just happy.
He has the camera open on his feet. He doesn't even have the game open. He's like, I have just a nice hair day.
It was a very good hair day if you're Abed. Playtime. Getting ready. Execration comfortable. Waiting for everything to be settled here. But yeah, it's wild to me that one of the people there, one of the player administrators, I'm like, I've met this guy a few times. I was invited to his wedding. And then you see him there, like, oh, cool. Good to see.
It's... How... Okay, so this is an interesting question, right? Playtime, they were always, as far as, you know, Wits and Schofield went, they were always a South American team, but now they've brought in a mix. How far do you see this South American roster going? Because the idea for, like, at least in my opinion, the idea for both LGD as well as Playtime, two top South American teams, is that you go for TI. Is this the roster that you could see sticking them around with? Because technically Playtime, you know, they have Abed and they have Abed right now as a stand-in, Abed and Jabs. But do you think with how they've played so far that this could potentially be a roster that can stick together and go pretty far?
I mean, if they win or they do really well here, they have fun, probably that would be an idea that they want to the float around. If they get eliminated here, I feel very unlikely. You know, top 12, in a tournament here and then not much to compete in for a few months. Like, what's keeping you together? You know, sometimes you are together because of necessity. Oh, qualifiers are in a week. We can't find anyone. Your team is also having issues. Let's just make the stack and work with it. But we got nothing for a while after this. Like, no qualifier, I mean. So, do well here, stick together. Don't do well here, go back to Southeast Asia, buddies.
I don't think Jazz wants to go back to Southeast Asia. He was with Nemesis. He was with Nemesis when they were in Southeast Asia, and then he was with Nemesis when they were in South America. And now he's with Playtime in South America.
So, I mean, I thought Nemesis counts as a Southeast. Oh, yeah, well, now they're not. They're not.
No, they're back. They're back in Southeast Asia.
Okay, good.
They're not.
Good.
They don't have a team, but they are getting back to Southeast Asia.
Good to hear. When we are getting back into the game, though, as Playtime with this group, it's not a bad draft. I don't think it's a bad draft at all. I just worry that they lack this person who can be the first point of contact. It could be the Necrophos, probably Almisho. Almisho is the one who has to do the big heavy lifting of providing vision for the team.
It is interesting to see not many Treant Protectors right now go for that early shard.
Yeah.
Where previously you would buy it instantly as soon as the timer hits. You wouldn't even wait for the Tormentor. Nowadays, you don't really go for the shard, and I wonder why.
I mean, it was nerfed so heavily, right? Remember, you used to get 3 charges, now you get only 2 of it. So that it's there's been a few other nerfs as well. I don't know if it was vision or duration was reduced as well. Like, it is not as good as it used to be. And, you know, like, a lot of these concepts, how good or bad they are, just depends on the numbers. High number, good. Bad number, not really good.
You do have
like
3 bounty
Watchers.
runes. What's like Watchers?
It's just like Watchers. Like, they don't provide so much vision that half the time when you take them, you're like, why am I? It's almost a waste of time, but you have to take it just because you don't want the enemy to get it. But it's not as like provide a whole lot of vision. But if they did more, it becomes too valuable. So, Akashi!
Schofield wasted quite a bit of time with his Fissure. They really wanted that Drow Ranger, but now they will have to make do with CML, but even he's gonna live. He charged that Fissure 4 to 5 times.
They were hoping to get the punch off on the Treant first, but he walks into a sentry, gets stopped. Very nicely done by CML, as Schofield gets 2 couriers for his trouble. 250 gold for the team, but a little bit of it is removed because CML gets his own courier back. So 125 advantage.
Very quick math, Optimo.
Oh yeah, you know, 25 times 5 is 125. 25 times 10 is 250. It's very easy.
I actually did 125 times 2.
That you can do that also, but I like splitting my numbers into 5s and 10s to make it much easier for me. And you know, because it's 10, you just add a 0. Super easy.
It's not that easy, but game will unpause as they are ready. Now, who wins on this bot lane? I don't think a Treant Protector can actually do much here. He's playing, he's playing into a Bushwhack. Shank will be able to find it. That might just be first blood drawn here. Tino will be able to find that kill. And Execration, who almost lost their Drow Ranger or their Bane on that top side, actually get that advantage.
They do. And bottom lane, I don't think Evolution can do too much as well. Whoa!
That is unexpected.
The thing about Earthshaker is that if you look at him in terms of a laning hero, he's mid, as the young people would say, right? Like, he's not too bad if you can get a decent Fissure block. What the hell is that body block?
Wits is very low on his HP, only has 1 more tango. And yeah, and as the young people, ironically, the term mid is used to describe bad, right? It's just, despite that, I would imagine mid meaning average, but Schofield can't really help in this lane. The Earthshaker is one of those heroes that has 2 Fissures before his mana runs out.
Oh yeah, he's a dumb hero for sure. He's like stupid cow or Torrent. No, we can't say Torrent. We can't say Torrent. My bad. Sorry. As Akashi, is he gonna be okay? He is. Schofield. He either has Enchant Totem or he's got Aftershock, but either way, he can only stun with Fissure. It's like level 2. He's like, what am I supposed to do, guys? I only have Fissure.
And if I was Akashi, I'd just walk in front and use my teleport to bait out that Fissure because I know he only has like 2 of them.
Look at the CS though. Akashi 16-4 to the 7-0 coming out from Jabs. Bottom lane, 15-4 to 7-0 coming out of Wits. Execration. I mean, I'm feeling more and more confident that this is really a bit of an outdraft.
They do bring the Treant Protector in once more for the second time, as they hope to kill this Drow Ranger, but it's only also going to hurt Wits' farm hit there. He's already so low on his CS. This might be a three multiplier differential here between this Klinks and this Drow Ranger, the Archer and the Bowman?
The Bone Fletcher. Bone Fletcher. That's
Bowman
his
sounds
actual...
nice as well. Oh, Bushwhack! Found on Wits. They will have the living armor though, so Wits is going to be able to survive. Tino gets held back by that punch, but should be able to walk away too. Unsuccessful rotation overall though by the Treant Protector. El Micho went up there, over on the top lane, and had to come back.
We'll point out, by the way, that I think that they... Oh, that's a lot of damage coming out for Jabs. I think they have an Observer Ward right there on Execration, so they see the Twin Gate when someone rotates. I'm seeing that red dot. That looks like an Observer Ward to me.
Yeah,
How's your eyesight? Yeah.
Whenever you have a 4 Protect 1, you want that Observer Ward on that gate, so you know if anyone is coming for your carry. It's a standard play, I would say, but one that works, one that's really effective.
Ooh, well done by Wits. Goes and eats the big creep. Recovering quite well in CS. You're talking about like the 3 times differential, but it's not too bad. Mid is also fairly even, so slight recovery.
Oh, Fisher comes out. Drow Ranger now in trouble, and the Nightmare is going to bring him on the other side of that Fisher. Schofield is going to be the one there and get held back by that Bushwhack, taken out by that Drow Ranger, right-click damage, and now it's Jabs in trouble with Akashi. He's walked in a bit too far forward, has that magic wand though, just laying in the hits, and the Archer will survive and be able to gun back even the tree. And this is a complete shutdown of what they wanted to do on playtime. Execration, 6 kills ahead now.
I wouldn't have called shutdown. Shitstorm right now is what's happening for playtime, unfortunately. The Sunstrike misses, and even if it did hit, they were like 3 grouped up together. It wouldn't have done much damage either way to them. And, oh, the Gust on the 1 hit away. Prioritizing this top lane to give Jabs a good time, but it has been biting playtime multiple times in the blubber as... okay, TP's in, TP's out. I think he dropped an Observer Ward, and that's why.
How do you see this playtime roster recovering in this laning phase? You know, just as far as the lane is concerned, because they've brought their tree, El Micho, up here twice, and twice now it hasn't worked out. The second time was brutal.
I think at this point, you're not looking at the lane phase as something you can win for playtime, right? You're talking about recovery, just farm, do whatever you can to not fight, and try to get some stacks, both the Earthshaker and... Oh, okay, wait, this could be something.
Oh, Akashi, yeah, I mean, it could be something. It is definitely something. Sunstrike will take out Akashi. CML, now trying to run for his life, is not going to be successful. I mean, two pretty easy kills found by playtime. And the Nightmare, I believe you can't break it if you're the Drow, but the Bane can break it if he uses it. So, was that CML breaking the Bane, the Nightmare?
I don't put this at CML. Akashi had moved to the left, and he would have survived, and he went back to the right. Unfortunately, gets caught. Oh, they did find... They are going to get something for their troubles, very likely.
Yeah, El Micho just falling to, once again, the damage, but it's Shanks who gets the return kill. Not that bad for El Micho if he compared to if he died to the Drow.
By the way, if you look at the supports, if we look at tri-lane to tri-lane, Execration destroys playtime. 2 melee supports, Necrophos, who's kind of melee-ish to get most of his value. As, oh dear, Tino. I think, yeah, he's good. Look at that. I love this. He teleports to his tower to ensure that he gets the wisdom. He was worried that it was going to be stolen by Wits. So Fissure,
Schofield once again blocked apart, and Akashi needs to get back to the Fissure so that he can be Nightmare to the other side. Do you think playtime realized this was going to be a possibility before it came out?
Honestly, probably not, right? Like, when you see it happen, you're like, guys, it's so obvious. But when you're drafting, you don't think, like, I think the Bane is going to use Nightmare to walk over the Fissure. Like, that's not probably something they discuss too often.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
it's something definitely caught me by surprise. Because the Earthshaker came after the Bane, right? That's what we have
Yes.
to consider as far as the draft is concerned, or was concerned.
Max
This is very
retaliates.
absurd when it's and then you know it's a bit of retribution as well because they built that Wind Waker, they built that use in game number 1, all to counter out that Bane. So the Bane, you know, he deserves a bit of revenge for the kind of shutdown that Playtime had planned for him.
Oh, we're certainly having a good time so far.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
So is Akashi, by the way. Akashi is so farmed at this point. Same thing with Tino. Abed Wit's doing okay. In fact, though, the mid lane, surprisingly, Bob is not having a very good time. We'll probably go for the Boots of Bearing. Very, very good against the Ghost, not the Ghost Walk. Yeah, I mean the Ghost Walk and, of course, the Ice Wall.
2 to
Radiant's
7.
bottom tower is under attack.
As Execution, I have slowed down, but most of the kills that I believe that Execution did get were just counterplays. Playtime were the ones who were making all of the moves and on that top side. So by slowing things down, by Playtime slowing things down, it is allowing Akashi to farm, but Witz has always been farming away, right? Execution never really put pressure on that Link outside of the few plays that they made on him. Schofield will get taken out. Bob, we haven't really taken a look at this Batrider in quite a while, right? That mid lane between the Invoker and the Batrider pretty much going evenly.
Interesting move by Jabs. He has bought... Wait. He has bought the Talisman of Evasion. He picks it out that there's a ward there. Talisman, probably the worst item you can get. You'd love to go for the Sacred Relic first, but he dies so much. He's also cute as the Boots of Travel. I don't think he's gonna pivot from the Radiance into the Boots of Travel, then go back into that. Pivot! Pivot!
Have you seen Silicon Valley?
Oh no, I was thinking about another show where they say pivot a lot.
Yeah, but that pivot episode in Silicon Valley was so good. Top lane, once again, you have multiple heroes rotating in this time around. Bob will show up. Schofield slowed down by that Frost Arrow as Bob really wants that Necrophos. Now Schofield will still die and the lasso did come out. Schofield will make it out, but Jabs won't.
In Playtime, they want to get both, by the way. You can see Akashi as well as CML. They're like, come on, let's get the Earthshaker, but unfortunately, that's not going to be happening. He is able to make that alive, but they get the bigger kill, which is, of course, the Necrophos. And I will tell you this. If Playtime loses here and fails to make top 8, I would not think that this team would stick together, you know, as a lineup. Not I think, because two of them are on loan. I'm not saying like they're going to hate each other. Two of them are on loan, but you have to find success as the main reason to stick together.
Yeah, it's...
Radiant's top
I'm not
tower
really
is
too
under
sure of
attack.
how many mid lane South American players are available to, you know, play with Wits, for example, in the sense that you need a very strong lineup, a lineup that can actually win at TI to justify that kind of investment. Akashi is going to fall, Schofield will also fall, and that is a pretty good kill. It's Archer versus Archer, and one of the Archers, the one that's dead, wins.
Yeah, definitely a good kill for Wits. And Akashi, maybe a little bit too forward. They do not have the lasso.
They're trying to go in for him, but they have the Stampede. They will be able to get on top of Abed, take him out. Bob trying to make his way out as Wits is somehow on this mid lane, trying to get the kill on Shanks, some kind of a revenge, but is unable to.
Dire's courier has
He's
been
very
killed.
close to finishing his Deso, by the way.
Radiant's bottom
As
tower is
Shanks,
under attack.
maybe he's happy he lost his courier because it reveals to him that the Clinks is still around. He was almost turning around at one point, but then he loses the courier. He's like, oh shit, they're chasing me. So we keep running.
Radiant's
Who, in your
structures are
opinion, would be
fortified.
the, you know, the mid
Radiant's
laner
top tower
or
is
the
under
off laner, and in specific the South American players that could win TI alongside Wits?
Oh, off lane Whisper. I think Whisper is the best off lane that the region has. Wits loses his life. They do bring him down there. Combination of Tino and Shanks. So I think Whisper in off lane. For
But
mid,
it has to be, Whisper's already in LGD. You know, it has to be available off laners.
available off laners.
Batrider also gets taken out, so great pick offs. You lose your carry Clinks, you take out that mid lane Batrider, and Execution Playtime doing very well for themselves. But yeah, I mean,
Leo
I mean,
style.
like available ones. Otherwise, you could pair up Tai Lung alongside Wits, and then have Schofield and Elmisho as supports, Whisper
fair.
as the offlane, and that roster just wins TI. I think that roster would win TI.
No, you mentioned a fair point. Like, it has to be available. Leo style, maybe, but that guy hasn't. I feel like he stopped playing competitive some time ago, which is unfortunate to see. As Akashi, Fissure comes out, good block, good overgrowth.
Into
everything.
the Sunstrike, into the Echo Slam. They throw the full kitchen sink, but Akashi is running away. Akashi has ran away. And Playtime, they had the damage, but were unable to take him out. They are trying to come in to finish the job, but Akashi is healing up with the salve, and now Execration hope to turn it around towards Elmisho. They see the Treant Protector, they know where Schofield is. He's thrown out his Fissure. Bob is coming in with the chase, doesn't really have his lasso, and so both of them will just teleport. Oh, one of them will teleport out. Shanks Elmisho with his sharpshooter. Wits is in a very awkward spot. He really should not have been there. There was a decision made to disengage by both of their supports. Wits just didn't get the memo.
And because Wits has been so active, by the way, I think that was the reveal of the Deso. As he's got the lasso now on Bob, would like to catch someone. Schofield, we're having beef tonight, baby. And it's gonna be juicy and tender. There we go.
Lasso on the Earthshaker, as he really has nowhere to go. He teleported here towards that bot lane, thinking he was safe, and he was safe.
For 10
but
seconds.
Bob, this is why, this is why Arthur says King Bob.
So I was wondering, like, does he mean it in a nice way? Okay. Silence comes out. Shot to the heart. And who's to blame?
Shanks, he's the one that shot. He's the one that fired the shot.
All right, well, I'm just making sure you're paying attention. Come on, like, all right, bro. Well, it is a tough situation here for Playtime. So let's look at their comeback potential. Necrophos, is he going for? We mentioned that he's going for Radiance, but that's great damage-wise. But you still are as soft before the Radiance as you are after the Radiance. It's minor evasion aside. Abed requires someone to set him up. He's mostly been doing, like Meteor Hammer, Sunstrikes, not really coming to a fight. Wits is trying to make space, but he's been caught a few times himself.
Radiant's middle tower.
And I just noticed. I knew that Execration had more kills. I just didn't know that they had 12 more kills than Execration, like 4 to 16.
That's 4 times
good.
the amount.
Yeah,
No,
that's not. That is kind of really rough. Now there is a decent amount of comeback potential. You have a Necro, you have a Clinks, you essentially have 2 carries in this game, and you have a control mechanism that really can't be over-controlled, right? There's no hero that can do what the Invoker does. But they need to get something going their way. Bob as well as Abed staring against each other. Tornado is going to come out. Ice Wall too, but doesn't hold back the Batrider, who has that Stampede to assist him. Elmisho comes in with the Overgrowth as well as the Sunstrike. They may be able to take out Bob. One last right click. Abed will be able to get it done, but now is going to get chased by Shaq. Scurry activated. Dust also coming out to slow Abed down. He can't use his Ghost Walk. It's also the Acorn Shot slowing him. They just need to build space for his CML to come in, and now the Fiend's Grip will rip apart that Invoker. Wits trying to take out Abed will be able to find that kill, or rather, try to take out the Bane, but he wasn't able to. He just had to teleport away.
Yeah, but Tino got a solo kill. Sorry, not Tino. Jabs got a solo kill on Tino. So we'll have to use the Scythe for it. Big pick-off right there for the Necrophos. Unfortunately, he is still nearly 2,000 gold behind the Centaur.
Yeah, that is... I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world, because once he gets that Radiance, he should be able to flash farm. Schofield almost has his Blink Dagger, but I would actually imagine that you have to make some kind of a move. You have to be able to chip away at this lead, make sure that the Clinks can at least get within 1,000 net worth of the Drow Ranger.
But he's playing such a different style, right, of this hunting with the Deso. Whereas for Akashi, I think a lot of the kills have just fallen into his lap, right? They're like, let's go for Akashi. Akashi's like, okay, they're bringing 2 people for me to kill again. Very nice.
And Execration have been great at making sure that Akashi has sufficient backup. Like, their supports are on point with that.
So two things have we should discuss. One is that there's a Blink Dagger on Schofield. So this could be big echoes coming out from the Earthshaker. Unfortunately, I do believe that the Centaur has a pipe as built up as well. Not rushing the heart. I've liked the heart myself, but I think that Tino's got a pipe. So it nullifies a ton of this Necro, Earthshaker, Treant damage.
You also have the Nightmare save in case the Bane is clutch with that. I'm not saying that'll happen. It's very unlikely, but it could happen. And that will be a worst case scenario for playtime. They head straight for the Roche, but speaking of, that could be the best case scenario if you're looking to reveal this Schofield Blink Dagger into an Echo Slam. But
oh! Well, they know. Now the question is, will they commit? Will they see, they activate the smoke. They're moving. Unfortunately, only the supports are in the area. The core is not yet committing for this. Schofield, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
He should. I mean, it's worth it completely. Even if you fail to secure away or deny away the Aegis, Sunstrike again is going to come out and they will realize no one's inside of the pit. So Execration are clearly on the move. Schofield's going to be left to his own devices, waiting patiently for them to go back in Roshan, but it's just going to get caught out. Oh no. Oh no, he did not budge from his position. And they even went back. You take a look at that Necro, he was showing on that top lane, someone was showing on that bot lane. And so they thought that by showing on the lanes, Execration would go back for an easy Roshan and then they could go in with the Echo Slam. But Execration quite clearly went for the more basic play.
Oh! The king lives. The king is not dead, in fact. He is alive. And that was a bit of unfortunate things, like Schofield, because the smoke had broken earlier, he wasn't able to realize that there was a bad ride right on top of him until he gets caught. And it doesn't even cost him a lasso or anything. He just loses his life.
Now with this Aegis, you have 5 minutes of essential free farm, or complete free farm. Like, I don't see how playtime would be diving in deep to take this Drow Ranger out, but how would you want this Aegis to be used? Like, what is the optimal way in your mind?
Is Execration on a timer? I don't think they are. But let's say you're 2,000 gold ahead right now. If you're 2,000 gold ahead in like 10 minutes, it's much smaller. So I do think they want to be pushing and taking as much of the map as they can. But the travel going to be finished on jabs, which will allow him to farm and join fights anywhere on the map. So nice bit of recovery here from Necrophos.
Is it going to be enough to carry this game? Like, this Necrophos, speaking of recovery, right?
Oh.
He is at the top of the network chart as far as his team goes.
This could be a big movement here for Schofield. Can he do it?
Looking for it, he goes in, is unable to take apart the Tormentor, but Abed was able to take out the Bane. It's, again, a decent effort, but I feel like these are just, you're praying for miracles.
Yes, they are. It was very nice, though. Schofield played it perfectly. He kept his distance far enough that the damage from the Tormentor was not proccing off him. Sometimes, even if you're not attacking, if you're within the distance, he'll shoot that lightning, and it's a visual representation. You can see it, whether it's on you or the enemy. So good move by Schofield. Nice use of Abed's Sunstrike to provide vision. He's like, okay, it's low enough. I'll jump in. Gets a kill. It's all right.
3,000 of a lead right now. It may not seem as much, but it feels like the lead is much bigger. Like, this feels like a 7,000 to 8,000 lead.
I talked to Seb when I was in Paris, and he is like, players these days are too concerned with the number in terms of net worth. Sometimes you know a team is just much stronger, even if the net worth advantage doesn't always reflect that. And it's like situations like this. You know, one team gets all their timings, the other team has 3,000 gold ahead, but you know that's on a relic, and he doesn't have the Radiance finished up, for example, or things like that. Or a BKB that's not finished. He still has to get the recipe. He's got 3,000 gold, but no recipe. And I mean, Execration is ahead, and they feel much stronger.
Hurricane Pike also built up for the Drow, and they see Wits. They will go in with the lasso. Schofield, he disables them, but a bushwhack found by Shax will hold them back. Wits, as well as Schofield, will die in that triangle, trying to find some sneaky farm.
Well done there by Shanks showing up in time to keep his teammate alive. Unfortunately for a playtime, another sort of rough situation. Have we seen any Deso charges on our Clinks?
I think it's just to do, or maybe even nothing. Tino does get held back. I mean, this is a very tanky Centaur. He has that pipe, so most of that damage is going to be absorbed. Sunstrike is not going to land, but the Reaper Scythe is there. And who needs damage when you have that Reaper Scythe?
You still need some damage, actually.
You need at least 50% of that HP damage.
Now that he's got the pipe slightly more than that, probably like 60% of his life to be gone. Either way, though, not too bad there from Playtime being able to get the kill on Tino. He could have maybe used his Stampede a bit earlier, but felt he was going to be all right.
So you do have an Octarine core on Abyss. You know, his ability to control multiple meteor or multiple tornadoes in the same team fight, multiple cold snaps, multiple, most of his spells. I don't know. We haven't really seen a 5v5 team fight, right? This entire game. So maybe that's...
Үлкіміздер әр қадамы жаңа жетістікке жетелейтін марафон. Біз осы жолды сіздермен бірге 10 жылдан бері жүріп келеміз. Тимур Құлыбаевтың халық қайырымдылық қоры.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
Games of the future.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026. We're coming to you live from our broadcast studios here in the magnificent Kazakhstan with myself, David Bloch.
And with me, Shulpan Murabayeva.
It's an incredible day today. It's day 3 for us as we bring you some of the hottest ticket items here at the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026. We've pulled out of map 3, still too early to tell who might take this one.
Absolutely, because we know that both teams are well known for their tactical late game decisions. So we are just going to have to watch and see who takes the third map.
Absolutely. Is it going to be playtime or execration? It's anyone's guess, but because We are broadcasting on a multi-stream you don't have to miss out.
Absolutely. You can tune in on our OTT platform at Phygital Plus and catch in on all the action simultaneously.
Absolutely, there is so much going on and the excitement is heating up not only here in the studio but in our venues across Astana as well. And why, you may ask? Well, because it's not just about winning the game or the map, it's about taking home that all-important prize pool of $1 million. Another gorgeous view of the digital world that has been created of the magnificent Astana here in Kazakhstan, a city that is literally living the future.
Absolutely. Look at those almost flying cars.
From flying cars to the gents that are seated at their desks. This is a view of the multi-stream. As you can see, there are colleagues giving some all-important analytical commentary and feedback, and one of the live maps busy taking place at the moment.
Between execration and playtime, ladies and gentlemen, let us remind you that this is the third and final match between the two giants of Dota. Let's see who takes this game home. And as a reminder, we are already in the elimination stage, so one of these teams is gonna have to pack up their bags and go home.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about this tournament. We're now finally getting to the crux of all of it, and we're going to be heading into the opening ceremony now of PUBG. This is another all-important one. Like with Dota 2, the biggest prize pool, also $1 million. As the meteorite heads in to make a crash, let us do exactly the same as we hand over to our colleagues for the opening ceremony.
Attention. Massive energy surge detected.
The energy within the sun-headed man's artifact has awakened.
So, the chosen ones are already there?
Newbies without a guide. Then it's time to meet them. Someone's got to get them up to speed.
Look what my robot can do.
Not now. I'm playing.
In search of those destined to restore the lost harmony, the energy split into 3 parts.
Hey, I'm one of the guardians of balance between the worlds. When the ancient power awakened in Kazakhstan, it chose you. You're the ones who can restore the sun-headed man's power and bring the worlds back into harmony. Guess even ancient powers can surprise you. Looks like the squad's finally complete. But until the sun-headed man is fully charged, the 2 worlds will keep drifting apart. So no pressure, but we're counting on you.
And so began the story of the new heroes. Ahead of them lay the greatest challenge of all, the games of the future in Astana.
Please welcome our teams, the Supers. Team 1. Can the Expandables full sense? Anyone's a legend. Diga Esports. Shadow Esports. Made in Thailand. Twisted Minds. Team Vitality. R8 Esports. Seventeen Gaming. Virtus Pro. JD Gaming. DK Esports. Team Falcons.
It's all happening live. It's all happening now. How could you not feel like a rock star walking onto that stage, Chopin?
I completely agree with you, David, especially with such a venue set up. LED lights, spotlights, all those flashlights up on the faces of our teams.
Absolutely. The rock stars of PUBG. Now, although it's still anyone's game and it's always too early to place bets, we have to acknowledge the fact that the likes of 17 Gaming and Twisted Minds are certainly up there at the moment. Great expectations, but it doesn't take a rock star or a rocket scientist to know who you are voting for.
I don't think so, David. I am rooting all the way for our homegrown team. Diga Esports, they made an amazing fly up through the ranks, all the way from place 13 to place 5. I am really excited to see them play today.
That was a great jump up the rankings indeed. So we know we're not meant to be biased, but there is something to be said. When a local team does good, they're part of the home soil, home turf, and of course, you know, you have that loyal crowd support. So how could you not feel amped and pumped and ready for what we must remind you is the final game today for that all-important cash prize of $1 million.
David, you are completely correct. We are in day 3, the final of the PUBG battle. $1 million is up for grabs. And as we saw, that trophy is displayed right up and center on that stage, reminding all of our players what they're fighting for ultimately.
And none of this would be possible without some of our sponsors, Chopin, which I'm going to acknowledge because without them, this would all unbelievably so be impossible to enjoy. The Yandex Go app is one of those that you need to download to experience the thrill of the big city. We'd like to thank Yandex Go for their incredible support in helping us bring the Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026 to your screens and to whatever device you may be watching us on. Just one of the very valued sponsors and supporters of this incredible international competition here in Astana in Kazakhstan, the city of the future.
The city of the future, and the future is here indeed. Did you see that venue?
Yeah.
The Beeline Arena. And we also, right before I go back into that venue, we would like to thank another sponsor of ours, our general partner, Haluk Fund.
Thank you so much to the team at Haluk Fund. So super grateful for your incredible support. Now, you were saying the Barris Arena, an incredible venue to be a part of and to be inside of to experience the final day of PUBG.
The Beeline Arena, yes, it actually is the National Tennis Center, but you couldn't have been able to tell because of the technology that is installed in that arena, seamlessly transitioning it into the home of PUBG. And I would like to remind anybody in Astana or around, day 3, the final of PUBG is on. So if you are anywhere near, please stop by the Beeline Arena located on Turan Avenue 4/6 right next to the Central Park of Astana.
Thank you so much, Chopin. Indeed, the Beeline Arena, it is. A couple of Bs here with the venues that are playing host to the Phygital Games of the Future 2026. And I love the fact that, as Chopin said, if you are anywhere near the arena, we gave you the actual address. We even gave you some of the landmarks where you know it's directly opposite from the park. And that's what the city is known for. Not only incredible venues hosting these games, but also some of the world's most beautiful, forward-thinking, modern and architecturally magnificent landmarks.
Thank you, David, for noticing. Let's remind our viewers once again. Final day, 5 matches to go. At the end of the day, we will know who's taking that winner chicken dinner home.
It's all about the winner chicken dinner and the $1 million in cash prizes. We want to remind you once again that whilst it's too early to have a foregone conclusion in terms of exactly who's going to win, Twisted Minds and 17 Gaming certainly 2 teams to look out for. And of course, the home team who have jumped quite incredibly on the rankings.
Diga Esports, they have a tactic of really, they like surprising their enemies. So I really hope that today we're in for the greatest surprise of the tournament. Not to sound biased.
Not to sound biased. It all remains to be seen. Now, what's important to also realize is with PUBG, unlike a lot of the other sporting codes, this has not been a one match you win and you move on. this has been a marathon. It's all been about not just achieving kill points, but also where your position is on the map itself. So it's been super critical to not necessarily go out gung-ho, all guns blazing. Somehow, the strategic option of holding back and ensuring your positions are well placed is what could also stand you in good stead.
I second that, David. PUBG is more of a race. It does not matter who wins the match. It matters who has the total amount of points at the end of the tournament. So we will see today those points accumulating.
Now, as we prepare to go through to the B-Line Arena, once again, just a reminder that it's anyone's game, with all of the teams having taken their positions in their final prep for the map of the day. It's important to remember that whilst it's been a steady marathon to get us to day 3, I don't know, Shulpan, is this one of those where the teams have potentially been holding back and they could just literally now pounce and go guns blazing?
Absolutely, David, because they had 2 days already to study the play technique of their other 15 enemy teams. So they have enough information to work with so that on the final day, they can really go in guns blazing and step up their aggression game. So we will see.
So with just under 1 minute to go, we always like to have a little bit of the did you know from our resident
of course
fiction, fact, storytelling lady of the moment. What have you got for us?
I would not be me if I did not have a fun fact to share with our audience. PUBG stands for Players Unknown Battleground, named after the game's creator Brendan Green's online nickname Player Unknown.
Alrighty, so Battlegrounds it is. And of course, if you're part of the world of trivia, I know that Shulpan, you still have another few nuggets to share with us.
Of course I do. PUBG is another game with incredible maps. We have 4 main maps in rotation. The #1 map, which has been named, actually really a sweet fact about Brendan Green's daughter, Erangel, the original map for PUBG, followed by Miramar, Taego, which is inspired by Korea, Miramar with the desert setting, and Rondo, a new map.
I love that. I can literally keep on listening to you, to be perfectly honest, with that bit of interesting trivia. Alrighty, so on the leaderboard, you can see the teams in front of you showcasing all the way down. You'll see R8 Esports at 21, Digger Esports 42. That's quite a considerable gap between teams 15 and 16.
Those were the maps that